All right, let's do this.
We don't need anybody. That's right, Xbox Nation, and we are here. We are live. It is Wednesday night, 8 p.m., 8:03 to be exact, and we have one hell of a show planned. Lots of stuff going on. Very excited to have so many of you lovely people here tonight. And I actually, just to let you guys know right away, it looks like GKB and She-Wolf aren't going to be here this week. They're like on a camping trip or something. I don't know. They're doing something, but they'll be back next week. I don't even think they're going to be doing much YouTube for the next week. But I got a good fill in, and I also got a couple of regulars. One of them is really good. Dealer, what's up, Dealer?
I was like, you're right. Fucking Hellhammer he's the best. I'm trying to be Hellhammer.
Man. Hellhammer is the best.
Welcome to Xbox Nation, everybody. The best podcast on, of course, a Wednesday night.
Right.
Good topics today. Good stuff happening.
Yeah, lots of stuff going on. And we have Hellhammer. What's up?
Yep, not much. Glad to be here. Let's see how this goes today.
Yeah, it's going to go great. Way to be positive, fucker.
Let's see how this goes.
Yeah, let's see. Let's
hope it goes well.
Yeah, let's hope this goes okay, guys. I don't know. There's only 4 of us. It'll probably suck. I'm not even sure.
We talk a lot. We'll be all right.
Yeah, it'll be fine. And actually, my good friend Mason, he's in here tonight too. He graciously stepped in when I needed somebody to step in, and he's actually been on BGST the last couple of weeks. Good guy. What's up, bro?
What's going on? I'm glad happy to be on here. And nice to meet Dealer and Hell, and I appreciate the invite. We're gonna have a fucking good time tonight.
Hell yeah, it's gonna be a great time. And Nukem actually is about to pop in a minute too. He just tweeted me or DM'd me that he's going to be here very, very shortly. So that's good news. There is a lot to actually talk about. And one of the main things that I kind of wanted to talk about, in case you guys didn't know, Phil Spencer, very active on Twitter. I'm gathering up his tweets, and we will talk about this stuff here in a little bit. But I wanted to talk about an equally hot topic right now, and that is Mass Effect Andromeda.
Oh, boy.
I'm sure all of us are playing this game. I like the game, but it has some issues, just quite a bit of issues, just like random little glitches and stuff like that. And I do agree with a lot of people's perception that it's not a perfect game, but the story is really fantastic. And I get this like Star Trek, Star Wars kind of vibe from it. Almost KOTOR-ish vibe, like some of the planets and stuff like that. I don't want to like spoil it because I realize like some people like in the UK and stuff, I think they're just now getting the game tonight or tomorrow or something like that. So you might not even have the game, but as far as I'm concerned, the game story is phenomenal, and a couple of glitches or whatever, or bugs, is nothing to really get pissy about. The facial animations, you can pitch a fit about that, but only if you pitched a fit about every other game that had little wonky facial animations and things like that. Overall, though, considering that this game's scope and things like that, just the amount of places you can go and things you can do and the dialogue and all that kind of stuff, I think that they did a pretty good job with it so far. I've been playing for a couple days now, and I think that it's apt. And plus, I did the trial on EA Access, and I thought that was really a lot of fun. Cut you off at a certain point, and you wanted to
just keep going when the game is hit. You could just keep going.
Everything transfers over. I think the big thing for me, and I agree, and somebody else said on Twitter, like, I've been playing the game as well. I think I just got to a part, like it's early in the game, but I did have done a shit ton of side missions already. But aside from a couple of the small glitches or, the little bit of goofy animations, the game is definitely blowing up on the negative side for the wrong reasons. And unfortunately, we really live in this day and age where it is just the cool thing to do. And I guarantee you half these people haven't even played the fucking game yet.
Man, can you blame them really when you got frauds like fucking Eurogamer releasing a video today called 8 Tips to Actually Enjoy Mass Effect?
Oh my God.
Did you guys see that?
Oh my God, I didn't see that.
What a bunch of fucking idiots. I mean, the game is at a 75, not a 55.
Yeah. Right? I've played a couple hours of it so far. I mean, I played through the 10 hours, obviously, for the trial. I just actually started it up about a couple hours ago before now to get back into it. But from everything that I've seen, I've hardly ran into any of the animation blips so far.
Yeah.
The glitches that I've ran into are so minute or small enough that, I mean, honestly, it's like these are glitches and stuff that happen on any major release. If Bethesda releases a game, Fallout, for instance, or Skyrim or any of the Grand Theft Auto games, at launch 4 and 5 specifically, because they were, around the time when they could actually patch them. All have.
I mean, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
They all have major glitches or other issues just because of the scope of the game. I mean, the fact is, yeah, it's not a perfect game, but so far, I mean, I'm enjoying it much more than I have some of these other games that have released recently.
I'm not going to necessarily say it's the scope of the game, right? I mean, I hate to keep doing it, but we got to use Witcher as a benchmark because it's still the best, in my opinion, right, so far. And I'm getting a lot of questions about what I think about the game. I didn't do a video. No Crap did. I didn't do a video yet because I'm only like 18 hours in. And this game, I'm still not comfortable saying, oh, it's amazing and it's completely just underrated, or, oh, well, it may be worse.
I'm not at that point where I'm comfortable to say, oh, it's being underrated or whatever the case may be, right? From my perspective as it sits now, I think the game is pretty good.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Now
I think the game's all. I mean, now so far I haven't had a what do you call it? A game breaking experience yet, but like I said, I'm also I agree with you guys. I'm not on that same level of calling the game amazing. Like I've been calling it's Mass Effect, but it's not Mass Effect, and it's so hard. It's weird because there's definitely a distinction between this one and the other ones.
What's going on, people?
Hey, it's Nukem. Thanks for joining us a little late, but that's okay. You were on Canadian time, so you're forgiven.
Sorry, brother. Yeah, just totally lost track of time. I was actually playing Mass Effect Andromeda and just totally lost track of things. I was like, man, I think I got to jump online here. Let's get going.
Yeah. Well, Noof, you're playing it. What are your thoughts? Have you ran into any like huge issues? I mean, what's your thoughts?
No, man, the game it plays like Mass Effect. It looks like Mass Effect. I mean, it's got some weird ass fucking facial features. I mean, people look like they're mannequins or something from the 1970s. I don't know what the deal is. I mean, their eyeballs are kind of all going googly and their faces look like they're made out of plastic. Like the alien races look really cool. Like, you know what I mean?
They do, yeah.
The people, they're like, what the hell?
It could be setting us up for the ultimate swerve at the end. They're just robots with like fake skin on or something. That would make
I don't think it's that bad. I mean, they don't look like they got fucking Down syndrome and shit.
Well, no, I guess that's the case, though. I want to see at least 3 articles by major video game networks explaining the bad facial animation is explained at the end of the game, just like Horizon Zero Dawn with the voice acting.
The thing is, I don't get. I mean, it's made obviously by BioWare, and they have various game engines, and they did Dragon's Age Inquisition a while back, and that game looked pretty damn stellar in my opinion, at least in terms of facial animation. So how can they sort of go backwards? Like 10 years ago for the first that's where I find like the faces are kind of more on par with the very first game. You'd think they'd be a little more better, I suppose. And it's not like they're terrible, don't get me wrong, but you definitely can't help but look at them and feel something is just off here. You know what I mean? It's like
the thing that's crazy is
you go out with a girl and there's just something just a bit off about her. You know what I mean? She's like eating the fucking soup with a fork.
I mean, even though
I missed the rim shot. God damn it.
Yeah, and I agree. This game, I mean, the game was made from the team who just did the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, but I agree with you, Nukem. They already have the graphics engine. They should have all the assets from the original team. So it's like, what the fuck happened? Like, how did you go left when you're supposed to go right?
Well, they had to start from the ground up. Everything's physically based materials now. I mean, they did the right thing. They did what Turn 10 did with Forza 5. They got rid of everything and started all over. They didn't import some PS2 shit into, you know what I'm saying?
Well, not importing. I mean, like there's got to be some type of.
They did have to start over. It is a newer team. It's effectively maybe even their B team to an extent. Casey Hudson fucking ditched halfway through development. Basically the Todd Howard of BioWare. It's had some troubles along the way, but the most important thing to remember here is it's not a 55. It's a 75 on Metacritic. It's a 77 on Xbox One. And that's considered a good game. So if you play it, the combat's better than ever. Yes, the dialogue, there's a lot of dialogue. Prepare for that. So if you run up and talk to some asshole, they're going to tell you, Their life story.
Their life
I don't even
story.
know you.
I'm always like, how's it going? And I'm like, oh, I'll talk to you later. You know what I mean? I don't
Seriously,
even
because like you can talk to them, but it's
See you
like,
later.
why the fuck are you asking about everything about them? You just met these people, right? Like it's kind of weird.
Yeah, why
And
are you
I would
here?
advise even skipping talking to some civilians because it's like there's no point unless you want to come back and do it later. But it's a good game. It looks good. It looks even better when you clear up the skies on EOS after the trial, right? That lighting really comes through that you didn't get to see in the trial. And like I said, the combat, the story's pretty good. You literally go to planets and explore with your Nomad. I mean, it's pretty. If you like Mass Effect, the bottom line is this is a buy, no matter what. If you are a fan of any of them,
I agree.
Well, anybody really that was complaining about it, I noticed a lot of people weren't available to use it because they were like PlayStation fans or whatever. And I actually had somebody message me today, and they were like, "Yeah, with that stupid video you did about the reason why it's scoring bad and people don't like it is because it was first on Xbox One." That's not true. There's no bias or anything like that. Here's the thing. I did that video in response to an article that said the reason why you hate Mass Effect is because of the boring trial early access on Xbox One.
I saw that.
So it's like, it's like how can you say that there's no bias or anything like that? Look, I was grabbed into the game right away from the trial, so I was good with that. But
I got pissed off when I hit that wall that was like, you can't go any farther. I was like, what do you mean I can't go any farther?
Here's the thing, right? Like people act like this stuff doesn't exist, right? Like, there's no bias. There's nobody hates on Xbox or any of this stuff. Just look at yeah, exactly. I mean, we're seeing the influx, and we're going to get to the reasons on that as well, because I know Mason and I were talking earlier on Twitter, and he was going off like about all these articles that are cropping up again over a bunch of nonsense. But yes, this whole Mass Effect thing, I think the game is solid. It's Mass Effect. Here's the thing that a lot of people aren't taking into consideration. Mass Effect as well as Dragon Age switched over from using Unreal Engine to using Frostbite Engine because EA has the mandate that all their games have to be on Frostbite now, right? So if you looked at, and one of the things is, like, I will agree the facial animations look better on Dragon Age, but the issue that I took with the Dragon Age stuff is people look very plastic, in my opinion. They kind of look plasticky, shiny or something. I don't know, but with Mass Effect, I think they look okay, but some of the people just got these big giant fucking heads.
Dude, I don't know. I'll say, because I'll call out, because I think the game is good, but I do say that, a lot of it's not even so much just the animation, it's just the expressions that some of these people have, during a serious conversation. They look like they're about to fucking
and a lot of the dialogue.
What's crazy is, I think, was it Nukem? I think you said it, or Dealer. It's like the alien races look way better than the human faces.
They do.
It's the Krogan.
I can sum it up in one easy sentence for you. It's like going to the bar where the graphics look fucking hell of a lot better from a mile away, but when you get up close to her face, you're like, oh.
He'll be here all night, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, Noof. And I agree. Look, here's the thing with the aliens. I think the difference is there's no such well, there could be aliens, but we haven't seen them, so they can look like anything. They can.
That's true, right? And then if they have little odd quirks or something like that, it really doesn't affect it much because we're not looking for, a human style facial reaction or whatever the case may be.
They could have big fucking eyes or droopy faces or whatever, and it doesn't look as bad. But when you see a person and they got this big fucking pumpkin head and these giant eyeballs, just and they're not even looking directly at you, one's kind of off to the left, one's to the right, then that's a little bit of a problem. But the main issue that I took from this was I noticed a lot of this in Horizon Zero Dawn. But the reason why I like Horizon Zero Dawn was one of those games where I liked it, but it wasn't like I have to get back to it. It's like as soon as I'm off this podcast, I'm going to be back on Mass Effect. Yeah, right. Exactly. There hasn't been one fucking quest where someone's like, "I got a bum knee. Can you get my spear?" There's not one.
I got a bum knee.
I got a bum leg.
Can you find my daughter?
Can you find my daughter? I can't. I
can practically see it now. Hey guys, my name is Johnny Douchebag from NeoGaf, and I'm gonna give Mass Effect Andromeda 7 out of 10 because I was doing a sex scene with that girl and her tits didn't move.
Hey, I've heard stranger things happen, to be honest with you. So I mean, I wouldn't definitely put that past you. But apparently, people were saying that there were some harsh working conditions on this Mass Effect game. So I mean,
Oh, really?
if that was true, like this former.
Here's the thing, right? Like, I mean, dealer it makes the correct assumption now. Basically, that the bar is set really high already with The Witcher, especially with open world games and RPGs of any sort. I mean, it's probably going to be set even farther once Cyberpunk comes out. But I mean, we take a look at this though. You also got to look at the difference of the teams, right? You have a team that's their work ethic is literally just they work on the Witcher games up until this point.
Yeah,
that was all they did.
Cyberpunk is gonna fucking
yeah.
I can't wait.
So I mean, but you're looking at a team who basically specializes at doing what they are. You know, what they do is RPGs. That's basically what they set themselves up to be. Everybody on the team was working on the side for probably a handful of people working on Cyberpunk as a part-time thing until The Witcher 3 was completed. So, I mean, it is.
Mass Effect had a far better advantage than The Witcher 3.
I mean, but you think, though, right?
They got a bigger team. They probably have a much bigger budget. You know what I'm saying?
But you look at what EA is, right? You look how EA is very quick and they want to get their stuff pushed out as fast as possible versus.
Well, like 5 fucking years, shit.
Yeah,
but you're still looking. You're looking at that at an EA product, right? And it's not like I have an issue with EA.
That's
like
what I say. Something's fundamentally wrong there. And when you see staff like Casey Hudson, the guy that made the last games what it is, leave. There's a like I said, it's not a bad.
It has to be something. It has to be something from the higher ups or something from that point. Well, that's too much pressure down on these people.
Here's some of the story, right? First of all, this is BioWare Montreal, who apparently they're not the ones that made the other Mass Effects. And here's here's how the story goes. For more than 2 months, BioWare Montreal apparently also paid for employees' lunches, but refused to allow more than 30 minutes of rest time in an effort to finish development quicker.
The fuck out of here.
Yeah, likely causing major issues with respect to morale and stamina. Other unnamed benefits were apparently also abolished in an attempt to complete various aspects of Mass Effect Andromeda before deadlines as well. Also mentioned serious issues with HR, which was more interested in making employees who spoke out about harassments as nuisances than in actually listening to or solving their complaints. So there's actually apparently like a lot of harassment and problems and unhealthy.
And to be clear, this
conditions.
is an ex-employee, right?
Yeah, ex-employee. Just so everybody knows.
Might be a little disgruntled people. So
yeah. So I mean, look, isn't it funny how we hear these kind of things afterwards or whatever? But at the end of the day, as far as that's concerned, that's just their story. I'm not saying that that's what happened. This was a former BioWare Montreal employee saying that. Just like, when Microsoft canceled Phantom Dust remake, that studio, they had people come out and bitch and complain, but we don't really know the story because Microsoft never really about the story. So we're not, So you never know really if that's the case. I mean, sometimes these bigger studios are really kind of like these factory type settings where you just pump shit out. Like I've heard from people that have worked at like Ubisoft and stuff, those Assassin's Creed workshops are like sweatshops or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
just like,
I actually know somebody that works for Ubisoft, and they did say that the Assassin's Creed side is like basically like they cracked the whip. They're like, get this thing finished, I mean, that's basically what it comes down to,
and
right?
It showed in the quality. That's the most important thing.
And that's what I'm saying. Like that's why we see the difference, right? We obviously have people who are taking their time on The Witcher. They enjoy what they do. They're given more free reign to do what they want to do with it, or tweak things out to look right.
Other than being owned by a company like EA, but also you think upper management for BioWare themselves or in with the development team. Well, I guess not really. I mean, if your boss is telling you to get it done, you really got no choice. Either you get the game done or.
Well, you think these fucking idiots will figure out that if you treat the fans right and give them a quality product, the product will succeed, right? Almost no matter what it is. Almost these
one
days,
thing I'll guarantee right now is that whenever the next Mass Effect game comes out, I guarantee it's probably going to have some of the best facial animation in the freaking industry. And even if they delayed this game a couple of months, I mean, realistically, how much could they have fixed it? Maybe some of the technical glitches. I don't think we would have seen a big change with the animation. And as a matter of fact, I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of change in the animation, like period.
No, I don't think I agree.
I mean, the technical glitches like clipping and people doing the crab walk and stuff like that. Well, that's a problem with the code, but as far as like animation, like that stuff that's already programmed in. Like it's pretty hard to go back and change all those lines of dialogue and shit like that. That would have to be a massive undertaking.
Yeah, some of the face.
A lot of people were saying with that first. They're like, oh, hopefully the first or second update. But like Nukem said, I mean, that's like solid in stone. I mean, that takes time, money. You'd have to get the actors to come back in, to do the motion capture again. No,
they didn't motion cap it. That's actually the problem. It's actually hand.
Oh, the
animated
on the
you can tell because the way that their lips and their eyes kind of move, sort of like all. In, like,
some assholes like, all right, we'll drag the lips up here and then we'll open them out here.
I like those fucking gifs that are on Twitter.
Hey,
where
we'll make sure the eyeballs
like
look the opposite direction.
Hey, I don't understand that, though, dealer. Listen, and sorry, Noof, I didn't mean to cut you off, but listen, how did it, like in this day and age, do you not mocap? Right? Because like I realized
that stuff, like. With Rise of the Tomb Raider, they had 90 points, 90 little balls on her face, a Sony fanboy's dream. All right, and they they would capture every single bit of movement with every muscle in her face, and that's what you notice. That was one of the new technologies in Rise of the Tomb Raider. In the cutscenes, it was all in-engine, in real time, but that was mocap, and that's why it looks so good. That takes a lot of data, a lot of space on just in general is a lot more complex, and Mass Effect has more dialogue than probably
any and also cost more
play in your life. So it's cheaper, and it's just going to be a little easier for them to do it.
Isn't that Remedy's game, that Northlight technology they have? Isn't that their own version of mocap now too? Don't they actually have?
There's several versions of
like Northlight
body
technology.
Everything.
It's the same thing like with sports games. If you look at a sports game, as good as they are, like a 2K basketball, the faces look fantastic, but they don't exactly have a full range of motion. Like when they just kind of like get a little mouth opening when they score or something like that. And that's kind of why, like, because it would be pretty freaking hard to mocap 700 players. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's funny that you bring that up because there were some Madden games that got updated faces before in the past. So I know it's something that they can do. I don't know, like, if they're going to be able to fix all the animations and stuff, but maybe in the future, at least have your cast do like some mocap. Because listen, if you look at some of the games that are doing mocap, right? Some of them, like you said, Tomb Raider, fantastic. That stuff looks real. You can tell a huge difference. And like, even if you go back and you go play like Halo 1 Anniversary, Halo 2 Anniversary, that's not motion capture, and you can tell because the movements are all shitty. Like if you play Mass Effect, they walk with their arm, like their shoulders, like fucking way back. Like nobody walks like that. Do they not have access to somebody, right? That can walk like here, walk in front of me, back and forth. Let me see how you fucking walk back and forth, and then I'm just gonna fucking copy that,
Yeah, don't they kind of remind you of Jar Jar Binks just a little bit?
Oh, man.
I like Mass Effect. I don't know.
It's you could sit there and say, I mean, there's a lot of dialogue and stuff, but I mean, they could at the very least, for some of the main or more major characters, did some kind of caption for them, and then base.
And the problem is, though, bro, is you can control how big your mouth is and all this other shit. I'm sure they could have mapped it and stuff, but. They wanted to get it out, and they figured, hey, there's a fuck ton of dialogue in this game, and not to mention half the characters are aliens. There's no way we could face cap aliens that don't exist. That would be a way more extensive process to actually make synthetic masks and somehow make that work with an actor in it.
But see, my problem is,
man. The fact is they just didn't polish the animations by hand as well as they should have. That's all there's to it.
That is a good call. But let me ask you this though. Because I know they did the hand-drawn stuff on Horizon Zero Dawn as well, and that explains why they kind of bobble a little bit in the cutscenes, like their heads like do that.
Like they're an infant trying to hold their fucking big ass head up.
Yeah, like their heads bobbling back and forth, and they got the little googly eye problems too sometimes. But The Witcher 3 wasn't that mocapped?
No. That wasn't mocap.
Wow,
no.
then they fucking.
I'm sure they mocap certain animations, but they did not mocap. That's what I'm saying. That was all animated on the PC by hand in the traditional sense, and that's why I'm not making excuses for Mass Effect, even though I'm sure Mass Effect has a similar amount of dialogue. The Witcher 3, I was playing that the day before Mass Effect came out. I was like, fuck, I remember why I really liked this game so much. I want to play this instead of Mass Effect. It's proof that it can be done. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, a good portion of The Witcher 3 was mocap, though.
The faces? I don't know about that. I didn't hear it.
Some of the faces, I think, like obviously, like Geralt's face and that stuff was all done.
Are you saying that the boobs were were done like that? It's like,
I mean, I know that like some of the combat stuff was mocap.
Yeah, and a lot of the
in terms of the
combat, that
facial
kind of thing.
facial animations and all that, I don't think that's mocap. I think
you know, a
it's
game that
done.
really had good facial mocap was Rise. They did a really good
Yeah,
job.
that was all mocap. Yeah,
Yeah,
That was
Main
fucking
guy.
good.
like that was.
because if
And
you
also,
look at the actor behind the main guy, Marius,
Looks just like him.
actually, it's the same guy. It's him.
Yeah.
He's in the
And
game.
some of it just has to come down to better character models right from the start. I mean, that's all
Yeah.
it takes. I mean, you look at the choices that you get at Mass Effect when you're creating a character, and everybody looks ugly. It's like
Yeah.
Oh my
ugly,
god!
ugly. I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like, I was like, fuck all these
You
people.
know,
are
you know what it
ugly.
reminded me of is the fucking Division shitty ass character creator.
Oh,
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, my guy's got big ears and this, and there's only one beard option. This ugly ass beard. I'm like, dude, I got this beard. I always make my characters with beards, right? And it's got this ugly like dirtbag beard. It's
like peat moss growing on his face.
yeah, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. I was
For a
like,
game
come on.
that big, there's no excuse not to have a bigger and better character creator.
Yeah, and hey, shout out to Jamie Moran because he said that in 2015 they said no mocapping dialogue because there was just too much. So
Yeah.
I mean, I get that, but I mean, damn, you know what I mean? Like at least like do a little bit better job. You're right. Like they should have tightened that up. And I'm not sure that any kind of I know people are like they should have just delayed it some. I'm not sure a year delay would have been able to go back and do all that.
Why the fuck did they
just
put it in the
shitty
hands
artists,
of a
man.
bunch of rookies? Like if you watch the documentary, they're like, these are newcomers to developers and they were fans before. And it's like, why did you do that? You fucking idiots. This is Mass Effect.
Yeah, hey, it's Mass Effect, and yet they're gonna
I
let
get
you're
it.
right.
Get a fan's perspective. That's very important. But have your fucking veterans on this.
They must have really been they're fans that are now developers. They must have been really big fans of the first one because if you look at some of those animations, they're like that, completely awful in my opinion. Some of them, but the game itself, like as far as the combat and movement, I love that. You know, like the jetpack and all that stuff, phenomenal, really on point. Like what they've done there.
And once again, we're shitting on the game pretty hard right now, like diarrhea style. But I mean, it is a good game. It's at a 77 out of 100 on Metacritic on the Xbox One. It is good. It's not trash. So go pick it up.
I mean, the thing is, I think since we've all played it, we have the right to criticize it. And it's funny going back to what Crap you said about the gameplay. At first, I was wondering, with the small bugs that they have or like the animations, etc. The gameplay to me is perfected. It's fucking spot on. So I was wondering. I was thinking, I'm like, okay, did they spend too much time on the gameplay? And then literally halfway through, they were like, oh shit, we got to hurry and do something.
I mean, gameplay comes first, right? So
yeah,
I think they did
obviously this time according to the internet, it's fucking not. Everyone's all shitting out.
Fuck the internet. We got idiots on Metacritic that didn't even fucking play the game, giving it a 0.
Yeah.
Fucking idiots.
Well, I want to move on to another topic. We had a good little discussion there. Again, I want to point out that I like Mass Effect. I'm enjoying it. I can't wait to hop back in it. But like, you got to be able to sit back and laugh at some of the technical issues that are going on. Like I haven't had too many. A couple of the facial animations where they got like fucking big heads and like these big old eyes.
I've had two technical issues. I had one of the characters had some pretty googly eyes so far. And I did get stuck on a portion fairly on in the game where I had to reload a save point or reload.
I had to reload a save point because I was supposed to defeat some guys outside this little camp as part of my mission, and that it didn't trigger, so they wouldn't appear. So I had to run around in this big circle thing until they finally popped up.
Mine wouldn't trigger where I could get past this door, unlock this door. So what I did,
but there are patches coming. There's already been one hit the Xbox One, and it's not really as glitchy as a lot of people think it is. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
Cletus just told me the reason why you should buy Mass Effect.
Why is that?
Do you want Cletus's opinion?
Yeah, hey Cletus, what do you think, bro?
Well, I think the reason you should buy Mass Effect is pretty simple. Because it's a good self-esteem booster. Because as ugly as you might have fucking thought you was yesterday, you play this game and everybody starts to look pretty damn good. It's like going down to Walmart. You hang out there for an hour and you start to look like fucking Brad Pitt. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, good luck, man. Those processors and heading down the Walmart, it's a self-esteem booster. I have to admit, 100%. Good little chat with this, and I agree. Like, those people are fucking ugly. Maybe like in the future they think everybody's gonna be ugly. I'm not sure, but yeah, those are some ugly people. Although Mason, you were like, man, I'm gonna smash Cora, and I was like,
I'm gonna knock the dust off that fucking pussy, man.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna fucking go balls.
You're really
deep
anticipating that. You got the roofies ready?
yeah.
Oh, I'm ready.
I'm gonna go
Funny.
balls
Heather,
deep on
it's funny.
CD.
Heather came down yesterday and we were playing it, and she was like, "So who are you gonna fuck?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm fucking Cora. I want to show you this bitch." And I showed her, and she had the shaved head girl. I'm like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, I'm gonna channel my inner Captain Kirk and do one of the aliens. I'm just, probably what's her Peeboo or what the hell's her name?
Peeboo?
Yeah,
Peebee.
Peebee.
Yeah, P-hole.
Yeah.
I gotta screw you,
Yeah.
P-hole.
PB, whatever the hell her name is. Yeah, that's gonna be the one for sure. Hey, while we got over 400 liking, man, go ahead and hit that like button. Oh, wait, 400 watching. Excuse me. Yeah, hit that like button. We'd appreciate it. I want to move on to another topic. Xbox Live issues yesterday, right? This is the first time in fucking forever that Xbox Live has had really any kind of major
because
issues.
the fucking media sure didn't make it sound like that. Whatever.
Yeah, well, as far as I'm like, I am on usually on there all the time, or it's like my Xbox is on or whatever. But it's literally one of the first times, and how I know that was a legit problem was because they were running this really good deal for these Resident Evil games, right? Like, in case you guys didn't know, it's like this fucking Resident Evil Super Bundle. It's like $20, right? And it's got like, yeah, it's like Resident Evil 4, 5, 6, Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 1 remake, some of the Revelations ones. Yeah, it's like it's got like all these games, and it's $20, and I was like, I want to buy that right away. And it's like, we're sorry, you can't. And then it's like, it wouldn't let you buy anything. And then a few times I'm trying to play Mass Effect, and it's like, you need to own this game, blah blah blah. And I'm like, what the fuck? I bought the fucking game. You know what I mean? And so then you find out that there's a slight problem. And here's the problem. If you game share, which I game share with Hellheimer, which means his Xbox is set as my home console and vice versa. So it has his as having the game. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's an issue for some people, and a lot of people were complaining and things like that. But then did you guys see the Game Informer piece, right? About how unacceptable it is, right? Like, like, seriously, Xbox, and it's the hottest thing on that site that shall not be named. Xbox One's digital game errors are unacceptable. And then it goes on this big rant about DRM and all this kind of nonsense, right? Like, look, there's reasons behind your stuff not working, right? I can't get pissed off. I game share, right?
Yep.
You can set your stuff, if you don't game share and you're having problems with digital content, you can set your Xbox One to offline mode, and you would have been able to play. Now, if you game share, that's just the thing that, you're getting two games, essentially. So you have to be connected. That's how it works. You know what I mean? Getting pissed off isn't really going to help anybody on that.
So, yeah, I mean, honestly, at this point, like, people who want to complain about that, look, like, there's times basically on the when I had a PlayStation where I couldn't do anything on the thing, and it had no game share or anything else on there, especially with the digital titles. There's times on the PC where I load up a game, where you try to load up a game on Steam, and if Steam servers are having issues, guess what? I'm not fucking playing the game because everything is DRM on that. The fact is that this is a simple thing. A lot of these people, there's obviously an abundance of people who are game sharing or who have multiple Xboxes. It makes sense to do, especially if you have multiple Xboxes in the same house or whatever, and you have to deal with some errors or some issues here or there. Everything has downtime.
Let me tell you, man.
Everything shit happens, especially. But like me and Crapper talked earlier, since it happened to Xbox, and like I said, it's been forever since shit went down that bad. Everybody jumped on it like a fucking pack of hyenas, man.
Yeah, I agree. Like,
usually when I see things go wrong, it's like little things like the store is offline for a while. There's certain features, but that's the first time in a long time I can remember not actually being able to sign in. That was kind of weird, and I think for me it was about over 2 hours long, which brings me to another great point. Is sometimes it is nice to own other consoles, because I managed to kill some time while I was waiting on the PS4. And then I jumped over, and my power actually went out on me in the same day, which is why I got kicked off the console corner yesterday. That's why I was on there very shortly, because my power went down here, so I had no internet. And guess what? I was able to take out the Switch. So there you go. It was a crappy day all around, but hey, I managed to make it work. Been They just have other options. But yeah, I don't know what the hell was on with Xbox Live yesterday.
Look, but here's the thing, right? Like nobody, that's also a big problem though with the media, right? Like Microsoft stuff goes down for what 2, 3, 4 hours really, and everybody loses their fucking minds. Versus Sony has literally lost people's credit card information and personal information before, has been down for days at a time before.
A fucking month.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And people are just okay. Yep, let's just forget about it. That's not unacceptable.
I mean, was Live down altogether, or were there just sign-in issues?
There
was like the Azure cloud in general,
and issues with digital content.
It's not. It wasn't just with
I think it was everything because at my work, we use Microsoft Office and some OneDrive stuff. And we couldn't even log. Like it was literally like completely Microsoft, whatever.
It was Outlook. It was everything. OneDrive. It was all their stuff. It was having issues.
And I'm gonna put this into perspective as well too. Yesterday was Patch Tuesday for Microsoft. That's where they release all their updates for all of their servers, home-based products, everything like that. So most likely was this the server issue?
Oh, I did get a patch last night. After everything came back on, around 9 o'clock, I did get an update on my.
So this Game Informer fuckface, he wrote this article, not knowing that he's game sharing with his grandma or someone. He's like,
oh, it just doesn't have his own console.
Yeah, I mean that's like what you're saying. People are so dumb they don't understand why they can't get to their games. Is because it doesn't know that it's your game because you are the one who set your Xbox as someone else's Xbox.
Yeah,
you know what the fuck you're doing, and you're calling in complaining. You know why you can't play the shit. You have to be extremely stupid to think it's just DRM not letting you play your games. Exactly. Because you can play your games offline. It's only when you game share that you can.
I would doubt even a lot of these journalists don't even know how to get to the fucking settings according to GameSpot when they fucking deduct points from the console.
That dumb bitch couldn't find the start button.
Yeah, it's too hard to get to the settings menu. The fuck.
Yeah, dumb bitch couldn't find that setting menu. Okay, so here like.
He's a dumb bitch.
Well, listen. Sorry to any dumb bitches listening. We're very bitch friendly here. She Wolf isn't here, so we can say dumb bitch all we want. Not that she's. Oh shit, that could sound bad. I'm not saying that.
She's gonna be.
Here we go. We respect the women on Xbox Nation. She's just not here, so
we call men dumb bitch too. It's all right.
It's true. True story.
Stupid.
We miss you, She Wolf. Don't worry. And GKB too. We miss you. You chime in ever so often. And talk about indies. We love it. I'm sorry. Okay, so this is basically what I wanted to point out. Microsoft has been doing a really good job of being Mr. Nice Guy, right? And the media and people think that the media will ease up and gamers will ease up. But then what happens when something like this happens? Xbox Live goes down. Now, PSN had been down multiple times over the past month or so, multiple times. And there was no stories like this, right? And Sony had this same problem at one point. And there were no stories like unacceptable. And here's what happened. They want to throw it back to 2013. Here's how the story starts. When Microsoft announced Xbox One back in 2013, it boasted an interesting approach to sharing digital games with family members and friends. However, this proposed feature came at the expense of being able to play those games while not being connected to the internet. While community uproar eventually...
people have fucking wrong because obviously there was a check-in feature that had to be done every 6 hours or so.
Every 24,
yeah. Yeah, it was every 24.
Here's the thing with that real quick. Just let me kind of jump in that real quick. For that 24 hours, people literally thought it was that 24 hours was a continuous, like it didn't stop. No. Let's say, for example, if that went in place, you started at 12:01 and you played until 1 in the morning, and you got off your Xbox and you didn't get back on until fucking 6 o'clock at night that day, you still have 23 hours.
Yeah.
Until you had to do the check-in. People literally thought it was a continuous, didn't matter if you were playing. I'm like, oh my God, you're so stupid.
Yeah. But to be fair, Microsoft was not very clear on this whole stuff.
You're right. Exactly.
So they kind of fucked themselves over too. So it's like while community uproar eventually forced Xbox to rescind these unpopular policies before the platform launched, so they took this shit back before it launched. It's clear that remnants of the approach are still present, and Microsoft needs to do something about it. This is the same thing that will happen at PlayStation 4 if you game share. and you can't sign in or get it online. This is exactly what will
all
happen.
this is people not understanding how any of this fucking shit works, right? The same thing happens on every platform if you're doing any sort of game sharing or anything like that. It's a very simple thing. People don't understand simple technology, and that they're writing about it all day long.
Yep.
And that's what causes the problems with all this, right? Like,
Well,
and
more likely they do understand, and they're just fucking idiots, and they just
They just don't
off as well.
They don't care, or you know what I mean. But here's the thing: that just how fast they are to throw it back to 2013, even though we're in 2017.
And it
right?
was their decision to game share.
Yeah.
So none of this matters. It's
Exactly. And they want to act like Microsoft is the only one. If you game share on PlayStation Network, this same thing can happen.
And it didn't even happen to the people that did not game share. It only affected the game share.
This is the other thing I want to throw out here too, right? A couple of hours, or even 8, 9, 10 hours, or even a day's worth of downtime, isn't unless it's consistent, and this has happened every single month, or it's happening every week. On that kind of basis, this kind of shit happens all the time, regardless of where you're at, what technology you're using. Your cell phone's towers go down, your internet will go down, everything will go down at some point.
And give Microsoft a little extra credit, because they're the only fucking company that constantly improves and adds features to their console. Unlike the PlayStation, which has the same fucking UI since back in the fucking Stone Age, you fucking retards. Like,
as much as I like the PS3, even the PS3 had the same fucking UI. They never changed it.
Which is the PSP UI, by the way.
Like, they haven't. You can't even change your gamer tag. So how hard are their technicians working over at Sony? But they got to do maintenance at least once a week. And trust me, guys, for the trolls of you in the chat room who are probably ready to jump down my throat, I have a PlayStation 4. I like it. Don't get me wrong. I'm just calling it spade a spade.
All of us do.
I've had multiple. I'm just calling.
They don't care if you have a PlayStation 4. If you don't got Sony's dick ran up your ass, you're not on their team. It really doesn't matter.
You can't be team Sony.
You can't say Horizon Zero Dawn wasn't really an 88 and was really around an 80. You're not allowed to say that type of thing. It's just that's how they are.
Heaven forfend if you actually call it like it is, right? Everything's got to be perfect on PlayStation. Hell, that's the Zelda killer right there. Zelda killer.
Fuck, man, they got Halo killers. They got Zelda killers. They even got Forza killers.
They got the Drive Club killer. No one else has a Drive Club killer.
Hey, their Forza killer fucking closed down that studio, man. That's how much of a Forza killer that was, right?
Drive Club was a Drive Club killer, not a Forza killer.
Yeah, man. It was like
it was so that Drive Club was so fucking bad.
He played himself and said, "Jesus, this handling sucks." I'm fucking done.
It played itself and then fucking took its sword out and gutted itself.
Hellhammer, how many hours did you
after the Senpoku, Sony was like right after they cut the fucking head off. Like, let me help you.
Hey, Mason's opinion doesn't reflect those of Xbox Nation. I'm just saying. Hellhammer, how many hours did you put in Drive Club on PS4?
I mean, I actually, like, legitimately, I played about 3.5, 4 hours of it. I gave it a fair chance. It was just awful.
It's just bad. Yeah, going from Forza to that is just like it's really bad.
Look, I'll give you this much, right? Drive Club was better than Assetto Corsa on consoles.
Assetto Corsa handled exactly the same on the PC. I mean, there was no
garbage.
Difference.
Yeah, it's complete garbage. And while all the fans hit that like button and get us over 200, talk a little bit more about this.
I went to play Drive Club. I went to put the case down on my PlayStation. That bitch stood up, pulled out a little sword, and stabbed itself.
It felt so bad for itself. It was shame.
I felt ripped.
It's so bad for itself.
I felt ripped off by a Drive Club at a discounted price. I think I paid like $18 or $20 for it.
It's like, I want my $7 back.
Well, PlayStation bring back Destruction Derby. Remember that one from the old PlayStation 1? That fucking game was amazing back in the day, man. And you know what? That game is about 30 years old, and that still got better fucking damage physics than Gran Turismo.
Well, Gran Turismo doesn't have really.
Yeah, but can you race around Nürburgring in a fridge box?
I don't. Yeah, see, I don't even know. Like, for me,
I heard
it's
they're
all
bringing
about
like
that.
dishwasher boxes and everything in the next game. So
Are they?
Yeah, they're going to bring dishwasher boxes. You can race from inside a dishwasher box now. What other features? fucking some kind of fucking, I don't know, some big ass lawnmower box. I saw a big post on it. They're bringing all kinds of boxes.
Oh damn! So it's gonna, man. That's a lot of boxes, dude.
I know.
That's
You feel, like, man, you feel like solid, like big boss in this bitch racing around. Fucking,
Fucking box.
Well, you can't see me. I got a box on my head, and then I'm walking around. You can't see me. You know what I mean? I'm in a box. So I mean, nobody's gonna take that suspicious at all. What about this name? I've seen something floating around today. Maybe you guys saw it on Twitter. It was a picture. It was called just Xbox Scorpio. I highly doubt that. But I had also heard a name tossed around called Xbox One X.
That's what I was telling Heather about because I watched that video. I like that One X because, and you talked before in the previous podcast, it needs to have that Xbox One in there because even though unfortunately there's not really smart people, it will send mass fucking confusion. I'm sure there's still going to be confusion when they announce the name, but you got Xbox One, like you said, Xbox One S, and then Xbox One X. I like that. It's just X is simple and it sounds premium, so that's where I definitely like that.
Yeah, I mean, basically they're gonna have to do the just like what they did with the Slim or with the Xbox One S. They're just basically gonna have to kind of rip off take a cue from Apple.
Yeah, it clearly designates that it's still an Xbox One, and they separate it with the model number, the X or whatever, kind of like the Slim, right? So it makes sense. Is it ideal? Nothing's like when I first heard the name Xbox One on stage, I was like, "Are they fucking kidding me?" And it grew on everybody, right? So who knows?
It was like Xbox has got 99 problems and his name's one of them or something like that.
I know have Randall Soft Servant here.
There was one on.
Hey, welcome, Rand.
There was a link. I can't even talk. There was a link. Whatever. You guys know I can't. There's certain words you guys know I can't say right. They usually S words. But there was a link in my DMs, and I'm here.
Yeah, what's up, Rand? Hey, Rand. I want to go back because I know you're playing Mass Effect, and even though we already covered that real quick, what is your thoughts on that real quick? And like, some of the, because we've all played it and we all liked the story, but there were some issues that we had. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, unfortunately, I've only played 17 hours of the multiplayer, so I can't give you any thoughts on the single player yet.
You haven't played any single player?
I haven't played the single player yet.
What?
Oh, okay.
Well, okay, because school's in high gear. I barely have time to do anything, so I was going to dedicate this weekend to
17 hours in the multiplayer.
Right. That was mostly 10 hours of EA access over the
How many
weekend.
of the achievements do you have already?
I don't know, 5 or 6. I got the achievement for beating the game on Insane or 5 gold extractions, which is the reason why we did that. So I got to level 20 in multiplayer. I put about 17 hours into it, but
gotcha.
Yet to delve into the single player, which will be this weekend.
Oh, okay. So because I had seen your achievement, I thought it was for beating the game on Insane already. I was like, what the hell? You know what I mean?
No, they give you
the
options which are pretty cool.
Go
They
ahead.
give you the option of like getting the one achievement or doing it one way or doing it the other way. So, which I thought was pretty
that
cool.
is pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah, that means I might actually get it.
Yeah, I can just hop in the multiplayer and do 5 gold extractions. That sounds much easier than beating it on Insane, because I'm playing it on the most casual mode you can, where basically it's cardboard cutouts and I go up and punch everybody. I don't even fire a gun. I just go up and punch everybody.
What difficulty is that? The
Narrative.
Is that the
Narrative?
crap gamer mode they put in
Yeah,
there?
that's crap gamer mode.
Narrative
mode, yes.
gamer mode.
Because
Ideal
there's
for,
not,
ideal for those new to action adventure or crap game.
that's exactly right.
In parentheses, crap gamer mode.
That's like when you play like Gears or something or a shooter and you put it on the lowest one. It's like you occasionally play a shooter, and I'm like, that's me occasionally play a shooter. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to mess around with a bunch of difficult ass people. I like going up and feeling like a powerful motherfucker, and punching them and they fall over. Like literally, you punch the fucking aliens one time and they fall over. And
Are you kidding me? You are playing on easy, like you're being legit.
Yes, I'm playing it on the easiest mode there is.
I'm on narrative also. I'm like the same way. I'm like,
You know what? I don't even want to have to shoot people. Is there a no shooting mode? Yeah, there's a mode for you.
Yes, there is. Like, and that's my mode, man. That's
Like
that's
the
thing
daddy
that
can I play mode on Wolfenstein.
It's funny, I used to play all those.
Easy. If you're sitting next to your Xbox Connect and you fart, you can knock over all the aliens.
I used to like back in the 360 days. I was always on the fucking hard difficulty mode. Now, I'm like, I'm good.
I play through normal first, and then I save. insane or whatever for later. If I decide to go through it, I get another achievement.
Well, you know what? I beat like the earlier Gears on 360. I beat those on the hardest level. We went through when Halo 4 first came out. Wait, no, when Halo Reach came out, me and 3 friends went through that on the hardest level. Halo 3 we beat on the hardest level. Me and Hellhammer the other day were trying to play through Halo 3 Master Chief Collection. We put that shit on the easiest level. We were like, damn, we suck. You know what I mean? Like how?
Well, I mean, also,
you know,
I just didn't want to sit there. You know, you also got to put it take into account too, like the time that you want to put into it, basically, right? Like, if it's the Halo game that I've already beat, like I've already beat Halo 3. I've seen the story and everything. I'm going through it just to have a little bit of fun and catch back up on the story a little bit and get some extra, and mop up a few easy achievements. I mean, I don't want to sit there and spend 16 hours on it.
Yeah.
Could we have went through it probably on the hardest difficulty? Yeah. We'd probably still be in the middle of it.
We burned through Halo 3. Literally, that game is super short. I mean, it must have been 5 hours. That was it. Like, we were done. Yeah, it was like
really good. Halo on the legendary difficulties, and it's such a freaking grind. You really gotta be in for the long haul when you play some of those games on legendary because they're just nuts.
I think one of the hardest
one level you're like 2 hours.
One of the hardest achievements I got was on ODST firefight mode. That Laszlo, get through all the waves on Laszlo. When I got that achievement, I shit my pants. That was extremely difficult to get, man.
I haven't even played that. Like I have. They don't have. That was on 360 with the firefight. It's on Xbox One as well, but not firefight.
Yeah,
but
not firefight.
Yeah, that's interesting. Rand, did you have any thoughts on? Because we actually have only covered 2 topics so far. Like we've been talking a shit ton about this stuff. But did you have any thoughts on the Xbox Live issues and the unable to access like digital games?
I actually do, because if I didn't make my video yesterday about the controller thing, I was going to make a digital game thing, because I own 600 digital games on the Xbox One, and I couldn't play any of them. So yeah, I was pretty pissed off.
You game sharing?
Yeah. So
I mean, I game share with somebody, but it's basically all mine, all my stuff.
We were talking about a journalist basically bitching about this, and not really mentioning the fact that he's game sharing. And if you don't game share, you could play all of your games as usual, right? Like it wasn't.
Yeah, you just need to go offline mode.
See, he knows. Fuck.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead.
Well, okay, so like, I don't know. I'm not sure if it was just specifically a game share issue or if it was like digital stuff was down for everybody.
No,
but
we were saying all of Microsoft, because at my work we use like OneDrive and we use Outlook. Even my entire work, we were having issues with OneDrive. So I think it was
their cloud.
I mean, you could play your games
yesterday
without an internet connection on your Xbox. So even if their shit's down, it doesn't matter. I could sign in offline, but the second I plugged the Ethernet in, it would kick me out of my profile. So if I stayed offline and I wasn't game sharing, I could have played all my shit as usual.
Well, yeah, like when I would start up a game, it would be like, you need to be connected to Xbox Live to play this game. And I'm like,
yeah,
I am connected to Xbox Live.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I do game share. Like my home console is on somebody else's console. So I'm sure that might have probably something to do with it. But
well, yeah, I had that same issue because I game share with Hellhammer and I just bought Mass Effect and it was like, wouldn't let me play it. And I was like, huh. You know what I mean? I was like, I just spent money on this game, and now you want
so damn convenient.
So convenient. I know.
Game sharing shit, and it's like the one time Mass Effect comes out after 5 years, and then Xbox Live gets AIDS again.
Yeah, you know what? To be fair, while everybody hits that like button because we're like at 500 watching, to be fair, I haven't really had a lot of problems with that in the past. Like maybe once or twice, but not really a big issue. For me, it's like I have all the games now. Like, Dealer, because we were talking about this before. I buy a lot of games now, and I bought literally all the Resident Evil games that are available. I even bought 7 because it was on sale.
Mm-hmm. Wait, is this still on sale? 7?
Yeah, 7. It's 40. I think it's $44, but I had a $15 credit, so it cost me 30, and then I paid 20 for all the other ones.
Every cent.
Yeah, so I own all the Resident Evils, and I'll have those on Scorpio. Even if I don't play them till Scorpio comes out, I still will have them, right? And I have a feeling Resident Evil 7 is going to be 4K on Scorpio. So, Did
you see that shit that happened with the Resident Evil bundle, though? Like, I don't know what's going on with that bundle. Like, so originally came out, it was $59.99 slashed off to $20.88. and it was $20 for every Resident Evil game on the Xbox One except for Resident Evil 7. So you're talking Revelations 2, Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 5, and Resident Evil 6. I bought it too because I'm like, holy shit, that's like 6 games for $20. I'm in. And then later that night, they fixed it to $51 because you can buy each one of those games individually for $10. So it was like, okay, you can buy the 6 games for $60 or the 6 games for $50. So they fucked up. So they redid it to $51. And then today it went back from $51 back down to $20. And it was like, oh, I guess it wasn't a price error. But then later today, they changed it back up to $51. Like, what is going on?
I bought them all for $20, so they better not fuck with me.
No, they won't.
I mean? That's weird you mentioned.
That was their mistake.
Individually, they cost more than they did in the pack. It was weird. Like there was even a smaller bundle, and it was like more than there was like 3 games in one bundle, and it was more than the game with the 6.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell is up with that?
Yeah, I looked at that the other day too because I see the post about it from a cheap ass gamer. And I was like, huh, that's pretty interesting. And I was like, well, how much are the other ones on? Because, and I was like, well, how come they're like, still $10?
Tell you what, I just need my fucking Resident Evil Code Veronica. Just please.
Did you hear Capcom is supposedly might be working on that?
Oh wait, Code Veronica?
On a remake.
They're bringing everything.
My biggest game this year for E3, I know there's a lot of is Resident Evil 2. That Resident Evil 2 remake,
Resident Evil 2 is one of the best Resident Evils.
And to Capcom, please don't fuck this up.
But you know what? Like I was saying, the whole reason why I go all in with buying games now, even digital, because all my shit carries with me.
But didn't you say if you got digital, you ain't got shit?
You ain't got shit. And Worrywart shoves that up my ass every time something goes. When this shit was going on yesterday, and I made a video about it, he goes, "You ain't got digital, you ain't got shit on Twitter." I was like, "You motherfucker, Worry, damn it!" Here's the thing: I still have a bunch of physical games, but I game share with Hellhammer. It's like he buys games too, probably not as much as me, but I have a problem buying games like. We'd go I'd be in the store, and Hellhammer would be there, and he'd be like, dude, you should get that game because, it's on sale or whatever. And be like, yeah, you're right. You know what I mean? So I'll just buy shit. I got shit that's not even open. You know what I mean? Like, I have a bad habit of doing that. I don't know. I might be addicted to buying, and I probably won't even play something.
I'm going to buy it. Yeah. Like, every time I see a game sale on Xbox Live and there's anything good, like the Resident Evil one, right? I shared it, and I was like, Crapgamer probably already bought that by now.
Yeah, and I messaged him. I was like, "Yeah, I already got it." Because I was like,
I know that feeling, crap. Because I have like 600 some odd games. I can never get through. Yeah. I bought Far Cry Primal was on sale for $20.
I bought that too. Yep.
Resident Evil thing when it was on sale because it was $20, and I have no intentions of playing those Resident Evil games. And it's just like, well, for $20, sure, maybe one day.
Yeah. I bought Dead Island. I was supposed to play through that with Mooch, and he bugs me nonstop sometimes on Xbox Live. It'd be like, yo, want to hit up that Dead Island? I'm like, bro, it's like 12 o'clock, man. I got to go to bed. I got to get my...
I meant to grab that. Wasn't it both the Dead Island and then Riptide and then the minigame for like $20?
Yeah.
Oh,
I talked him into getting it. I talked him into it, right? And then, because I was like, yeah, you, me, and Hellhammer will play through it. And then we still to this day haven't. So yeah, that's one of
all the sales talk really shows just volumes of how much better publishers have gotten at doing sales on consoles, man. Like last generation.
It's funny how you said that.
For like a year or two, it was nuts.
Well, right now it's a good time to put Resident Evil on sale too, because while the new game is still riding that wave of like hype right now, like it's that's when you want to capitalize, man. Smart move.
And that's where, like you guys were saying with that, how the digital front, and I said this like last week, that obviously Microsoft has the internal data, and it also EA with EA Access. That digital front is fucking sparking off. So that's why they made that Xbox Game Pass. I mean, that's cheaper. It's $10 a month, but obviously there's a huge wanting of that digital market, even though there was a fuck up yesterday. But,
go ahead.
Well, I don't know if you made a video about this crap or maybe it's in the thing for tonight, but you heard about For Honor, right? About the MPD stuff?
No, what's going on?
Nobody seems to be talking about that. I like, because I'm on NeoGAF all the time, right? It's one of my favorite websites. I don't post there, but I do. There's things happen there that I like to glean. So there are MPD representatives on NeoGAF that posted this stuff. Like, this is why I always say VG charts. Don't listen to that website. It's fucking bullshit. Anybody that uses VG charts
still use that shit
across the face. They make up their fucking numbers. So MPD came out with their listings, number one through 10. Like, it was For Honor number 1, right? It was Number 2 was, I forget, but For Honor was number 1. MPD mentioned in the thread that it sold way better on Xbox than it did on PlayStation, right? Now, this is just for North America, so don't go worldwide. But in MPD, For Honor sold way better than on Xbox than it did on PlayStation, and it had a 56% digital share.
Fuck. So half the
which
sales
means
were
it sold.
digital.
Well, 56% of them was digital, which they
Wow.
said was incredible. So these are things you don't really hear about, but you can kind of glean from certain things. So I threw that in there with my MPD video, and people were like, "Well, VG Charts says this." VG Charts is bullshit. They make up their numbers.
Yeah.
But I thought that was kind of incredible. One, that For Honor did way better, and they said way better on Xbox than PlayStation, and that it sold better digitally.
Well, let me ask you this: like I didn't even. I haven't seen anything on this. Like at all. So like I scour the sites and stuff for the information. Like that is big
because
news.
it was just like a post, just a random post in the thread, and the thread those sales threads on GAF don't get big anymore because we actually don't get like actual info like we used to. So it's just kind of like here's some information, nobody really saw it, but I mean,
interesting. Well, you know what? Like it makes sense though if you think about it, right? Because that's like isn't that like you have to be online type game, right? Like you have to be pretty much online and like.
I think you can play the story offline. I don't think it's. Actually, no. What it might be always
I
online.
heard it's always online.
And that game's fucking peer-to-peer as well. Like here we are in 2017.
Oh Jesus!
Multiplayer focused game, and it's peer-to-peer. Like I
And
thought
it's
about
always
giving
mandatory online, and it's peer. You're
you're
required
peer-to-peer.
to connect to Timmy's fucking server, like
Exactly,
just to
right?
play your single player. Like it's so stupid.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny because like if you look at it, like I think I would flip out if like they were like Gears of War, it's going to be peer-to-peer, or Halo peer-to-peer, right? Like, but then you look over on the PlayStation side and you see their like main franchise, which is Uncharted. Granted, not known for the multiplayer as much, but the multiplayer on that is peer-to-peer. And sometimes you're just like, wow, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Ubisoft are notoriously cheap as well. Like I don't get it. They are always underbaking and half-assing, and then they make shit peer-to-peer. Makes no sense.
I have no idea. It absolutely
I'm
blows my
hoping for
mind.
Assassin's Creed.
And I think isn't it because I know didn't Microsoft say like a long time ago that any developer or publisher can use their Azure cloud like for free.
Parity. It's the parity thing.
Yeah, that's what it was. Because Titanfall 2, like wasn't there a rumor the reason why
they use multiple different things for that because the main thing is right, like even though Microsoft was like, sure, Sony can use Azure, Sony doesn't want to be seen as using Azure because it would make them look inferior. So Titanfall 2 is using a mixture of servers. I think the Xbox ones might be using Azure, but there's also other ones too. They're like using
Amazon and Google.
Amazon Cloud and Google. Yeah, they're using multiple ones or whatever. So it wasn't as good. But that game is good. I'm not gonna lie.
We were all for that hashtag no parity because that means we got dedicated servers on every fucking game.
Well, you guys know.
Look at even with the cross-platform. I mean, what Tekken 7 didn't they come out and said, "Hey, man, Sony said no, so that's why there's no cross-platform."
Yes. There's no cross-play on Tekken 7 because Sony said no, and Sony said no to that on Rocket League. That's very anti-consumer. But again, nobody makes a big deal out of this because it's Sony, and people just have like that certain kind of way about
Sony
them.
Sony does no wrong.
Yeah, it's sort of like Zelda, right? Like this new Zelda, I'm sure that it's good. I haven't played it, but like Noof, you've played it. I know other people that have played it, and you're like, there's a lot of problems with it. Like your weapons break nonstop after like a couple hits. You're constantly breathing heavy, like after you run a little bit, right, Noof? Like, isn't that how the game is?
Absolutely. Like to me, it's one of the most overrated games this generation. Like it's a great game. Don't get me wrong. I highly recommend any Zelda fans or Switch fans. That's going to be the game you're going to buy. But yeah, and now mind you, what I am complaining about in the game might be something that other people are liking about it. But personally, like having stupid ass weapons like sticks and shit like that, and then cracking every 2 or 3 times you bash an enemy, it's just freaking annoying. Like to me, it becomes a grind, and you got to retreat, and you got to go to your inventory, and you got to switch shit up, and you got to do it all over again. And like Zelda was never about this. Zelda was about the adventure. It was about the story. It was sort of one shield, one sword. You had a freaking slingshot and a bow. Away you go. It was fun.
Yeah.
You know, now this fucking world is so freaking big. Like, I'm just traveling along. It's like, hey, 3 hours on a horse, and I finally found 3 pigs that can kick my ass with one hit. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that from a couple different people, including people I know who are like super big. They're like real big. Like even like I would say like Nintendo apologists. Like they like basically like come up with an excuse for everything Nintendo does. And they do no wrong. And quite a few of them actually even have said that and I've actually watched the people play it with the Wii U version and a couple other things. And I've heard quite a few people say it's good, but it's not like great.
Yeah.
Long story short, if it weren't called Zelda, it wouldn't be a 10.
Exactly. Good chime in there, dealer.
One of my friends, somebody I know actually compared it very much so to like a Dark Souls-esque.
I did hear that. I had a couple people at work that have it, and they said they've died a lot. Like a lot in the game.
Yeah, apparently there's some enemies that could just one hit you, and you basically just have to roll around and avoid them.
Like I run in a field for 3 seconds and I have a heart attack. I don't know how to get past this part.
well, listen. Like, you know what's funny is like you can tell, like, and I get it, right? Like Nintendo saved gaming in 1985, whatever. I get it, right? Good. We're in 2017 now, folks.
I definitely believe Nintendo gets a pass on a lot of
things.
They do,
because listen,
I really do hate saying that.
Look, the only real game that Switch launched with is Zelda, right? But I saw an article from, I think, a big name site that was like, the Switch lineup is secretly great.
Oh, fuck.
You would never see anything like that with Microsoft. The Xbox One had a really pretty damn good lineup for launch, and nobody said it had a good launch lineup. Nobody.
Yeah, I mean, look, here's the thing, right? Look back through your gaming history for launches. And neither Sony nor Nintendo, Nintendo, I guess if you want to count the very original Nintendo and the Super Nintendo, had great launches. And neither did any of the PlayStation consoles.
No, I think the GameCube had a fucking great launch. There was like, I think
Luigi's Mansion.
Oh yeah,
Luigi's Mansion. Yeah. That was a damn good game. Mario.
Yeah, what you have on the N64? You had Mario 64 and Pilot Wings.
Pilot Wings.
Oh fuck yeah, Pilot Wings.
That was it. Like that was all.
Again,
that was it.
That's all you had.
Yeah.
Oh, but this one you got 1-2 switch and you got Dance fucking.
Yeah, and you think that the GameCube one was actually. I remember the GameCube one being good myself as well, but then when you look back at it, like Wave Race was a good game that launched with it.
Wave Race was a good one.
Luigi's Mansion, but then you had games.
They had that Rogue Squadron too,
and they're charging you like $50-something for the Binding of Isaac on the Switch up here in Canada. I'm like, what the hell? It's an indie game. $50? Are you kidding me?
Canada, man.
You guys $1 for that game on the PC.
Yeah, I'm gonna bind somebody's asshole together and stick them on top of the fucking Empire State Building.
Well,
write a letter to Justin Trudeau or whatever the fuck his name.
Yeah.
Get these game presses in check.
Okay, well, I want to go back into what we were talking about before we got sidetracked, which is the possible name of Scorpio. Like I said, Xbox One X, simple. Rand, like you might know some inside stuff.
I mean, nothing directly from anybody, but I did get an interesting thing a couple days ago.
Was it the Xbox Scorpio screen thing? Because I saw that.
I mean, I saw it too, but no, it was more about the name of the system and certain things and the showing and what they're going to have to be talking. I mean, I don't know if it's true, which is why I didn't say anything. But according to
some rumors,
according to this fellow, he says that the name of the system is Xbox One Prime.
Okay, Prime.
I mean,
let's hope not.
I was
like
Optimus
Prime.
That's a lot to say.
Xbox One Prime.
Roll out.
He says
if they did that, the internet would have a fucking field.
Well, yeah. I mean, Amazon would probably be like, I don't know. We have a trademark on Prime. I'm not sure we want to use that. But
let's transform and roll out.
I think Rand has a good point on that, though, right? Like, because even though like most people think of as Prime as just being a shipping service. Like Amazon uses that to market like all their electronics and stuff too.
Well, I mean, you told us the name first because now we know.
Well, yeah, because that's what I said. That's why, like, because he was also like, it's launching in August, right?
No.
It's launching for
Oh,
$450,
no, that's
and like
going
all
on
this.
August.
He's like, here's the bundle. It's gonna have a Shadow of War bundle. It's gonna have a Crackdown bundle, and all. And he was going specific details. About
Crackdown's
certain
not going to be
things.
out in August.
Well, no. He said Crackdown bundle is in November, but
Oh, shit.
and he was just going. He was going in very specific details about a lot of things, and I was just like, I mean, thanks for the info.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean,
Was it
get
like a
that shit
random
too.
DM on Twitter? Because I get those all.
I get those too, but I get those on the Facebook page too. But here's the thing. I was the one who started the August thing. That was me. I was like, hey, and this is the thing. In the video, I says, I know it's not August. I know, but here's a compelling argument to why it could be August, even though I know it's November.
It's gotta be.
But here's why it could be. And a lot of it had to do with, see, I even got you believing that shit, and I invented the whole thing. It was me.
There's
I
no
said-
real reason that it would launch in August over later.
Well,
in the year.
here's what I said to August, because they're heavily promoting Shadow of War. That's like the first official game. Why promote it heavily in August? And they're like, all right, Shadow of War,
I
August
mean,
22nd.
when they mentioned it
Look,
on Twitter.
Then they got to go. Then they're like, oh, but you got to wait 4 months to play it.
But Crap just told you he made it up, though. I mean, I'm
Oh,
sure.
yeah. Oh, I didn't hear
I mean,
that.
I think it's really just a lot of these places that are geared up. You're going to see more people probably, more places even probably before E3 that are going to be like, this is going to be Xbox Scorpio compatible or whatever the case may be, because they want to ramp that up.
It's probably another one of those things where it's a bad marketing deal, because like if you want to market the Scorpio version of that game should probably come out around Scorpio, not 4 months before Scorpio.
Well, and if you listen to what and the reason why I came out with that video, which again, before anybody goes, Crap made up that shit. In the video, I said that this is just a compelling argument for why it could potentially release in August. And one of those reasons was the developer said we've been games. We've done launch games for launches of consoles before, so it's not a big deal. And so that was like kind of a thing. Oh, that's interesting that they say that this thing could possibly come out in August. But what did you hear about like a reveal date? Because I heard May a freaking long time ago.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know about anything about that. Like, he says, like I said, the guy says that's Xbox One Prime and 450 and all that stuff. He says May, but I don't. I mean, who knows? Like, that's kind of
an Apple.
That kind of information.
I mean, hey, it would be nice. It would be nice if this thing came out in August, though. Huh?
That kind of information is very highly kept secret, just like the CPU and GPU of the system. And when I came in here, you guys were talking about the Xbox One name. I think Dealer was talking about it, right? Like the original name. I heard only 3 people knew the name of the system before they went out for that thing in the reveal. Only 3 people knew. Like what the name of the system was.
Like the only 3 people knew about like the actual name of Project Scorpio?
No, the actual name of Xbox One.
Oh.
Like what they were called. Like only
shit.
3 people knew the name of the system. So, I mean, that stuff is kept highly confidential. But it's not releasing in August because I'm sure you've seen it, Crap. I've seen the Project Scorpio timeline all the way through everything. Like, it's not coming out.
But what about Phil Spencer saying on Podcast Online? He goes, we're way ahead of schedule.
Well, yeah, they are. They are.
That just means it's going to work. How it should.
Here's the thing.
Ahead of schedule doesn't mean that that they're releasing sooner. Generally, when you're ahead of schedule, that means that you released with more polished features when it does come.
Well, here's the thing. People are getting dev kits ahead of schedule too.
Yeah, he said
which is
like
good.
October dev kits went out.
Yeah. Like here's the thing, right? Like and Rand, so you probably saw this too. The new roadmap, the Scorpio roadmap, right? Like
I've seen
the newest one. Yeah. So it's like that to me was almost wordless because it was mostly just UWP stuff. You can see them really push that narrative in that like super like a lot. Like everything's gonna be Xbox One and PC. And the PC version or the Xbox Scorpio version is gonna be the PC version with those textures and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like it's definitely gonna be kind of interesting thing. Hey, we got 500 watching and 255 likes, so a lot more of you should hit that like button because you appreciate the
Xbox
show.
One Prime. Transforming
Xbox-
rollout.
I know, listen,
That would be
that
too
just-
funny if they
that
did.
just
Hit
can
the
you
like button
imagine-
if you don't want the name to be Xbox One Prime.
Yeah, if you don't want the name Xbox Prime, go ahead.
No, my thing is,
because god damn, that's bad. You're gonna see
if that ends up being the name, they need to get some kind of deal with Transformers, right? and release this thing so you can actually transform the whole box into like
Dude, semi truck.
yeah.
You know,
Hey, let me ask you.
Well,
how
Chris,
fast?
I told one of my buddies at Xbox. I'm like, so I know the name of the Xbox. He's like, oh yeah, what is it? I'm like Xbox One Prime, and he just started laughing his ass.
Yeah, I'm sorry. When I hear the word Prime, I think of fucking ribs and steaks.
And that shit, I heard in the comments section. I just random people saying that name. Anyway, that's something anyone would think of.
Yeah. Well,
And,
here's,
and I hope that they have that name too. That when it transforms, it's a remote control, so you can like drive it around your house. You know, be like,
You can use the
drive my
Kinect Xbox
Prime
One.
around.
Well, back in my day, boys, when I was in my prime, all I did was chase around box. That was awesome.
fuck you, Cletus. You know what? Listen, that name sounds terrible. If Microsoft should be like testing this name, because if you
Roll
come out
out.
with yes, exactly. That's the first thing we all fucking think of is Transformers. NeoGaf is gonna be full of fucking Optimus Prime type fucking.
And we remember, and then that leads into Michael Bay, and I don't want to be thinking about Michael Bay when I'm waiting in line for this fucking thing. So
Yeah, hey, let me Xbox One Prime.
please, Michael Bay, not again.
Yo, but I mean, what
Xbox-
about Xbox One X though? X
Make
gonna
Fox-
get you. You're gonna
The
think about like
Foxbox.
Xbox.
Hey,
One. You got X, bro? Yeah, I got X. What are you waiting for?
I got X.
Get
It could
that
be
X, bro.
Xbox One
I got
Extra.
it. So what? What the fuck?
You said so. What you want to fuck?
I like in Crap's vid. He's like, it's nice, it's clean, it's crisp.
It is. It's crisp. It is. Don't you think that is a crisp name? Xbox
It's
One
crisp
X.
as 4K.
It's simple and premium.
It is. Listen, because look, and a lot of people argue with me. They're like, they got to drop the one moniker. People aren't going to
No,
buy.
they won't.
Yes, exactly. Like, no matter how many times I explain this to people, right? They still look at me like they're a dog that I'm trying to like
Yeah,
talk
and
to.
they
It's
like they
you know,
gotta
it's
drop it because the
side
stigma.
to
And it's
side.
like, well, Phil said it's the best generation so far.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
look,
just-
they can't drop that kind of stuff because that's just stupid, right? Like,
Be
it
mass
doesn't
fucking
matter.
hysteria. People be like, "Oh, well, it's a new console now." So he told you.
Yeah, but it's not even
Exactly.
that, right? I mean,
Which
it's not
game
even
do I buy?
Yeah,
Well,
which
I mean,
one?
Yeah, exactly. Which game do I fucking?
Catch up?
Yeah, I mean, it's not
Catch
even
up.
it's not even
Catch
so
up.
much of that, right? Like
Catch
some
up.
people don't even understand the fact of the backwards compatibility, right? Like I see like games sitting around now where they did that like soft launch of like the backwards compatible games where they now have the Xbox One logo on the front of the fucking package, right? And some people are still like, oh, that's an Xbox One game, I can't play it on my, or that's an Xbox 360 game. I
Dude,
can't
know
play
what's
that on
gonna-
my
you know what's
Xbox
gonna
One.
solve
My
this
wife
whole
was talking, they're
problem?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You know what's gonna solve this whole problem?
What's that?
Hellhammer. Roll out. That's what's gonna do it.
Wait, is it gonna be like choo 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 when you hit the power button?
I'm almost positive they're going to keep the one in the name because it's an extension of the brand. It's not a whole new console. So I think the Xbox One, whatever it might be, is definitely how it's going to go.
Going to get GameStop and buy one case, and just like PS4, look at what PS4 Pro has done with the cases. It's going to be the same exact scenario, enhanced by Xbox One X, whatever.
Right.
Right? That's what it's going to say.
You know, like how you guys were talking about how the people be confused. There's still people who think the Xbox, like I saw it on Twitter and me and my wife were talking, that still think the Xbox One can't play used games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in 2017, man.
Man, I heard a Sony dude in GameStop just last year. I think it was the earlier half of last year. He was an employee, basically not correcting people when they were saying that kind of stuff too. Like if they're not saying it themselves, they won't correct anyone in there that says anything about it.
And I would go one further. About 6 months ago at a GameStop, which is probably like one of the last few times I've been in one, I heard people actually say that like Sony people. I mean, these are obviously like Sony fans too, right? Like they're wearing like the the PlayStation Now T-shirt and like the
PlayStation Now.
Now.
and like the PS4 lanyard and all this other stuff. And it's like, yeah, I mean, this is the thing, right? It's just a lot of misinformation that people are too dumb to go out and do their own
research.
Well, I can remember seeing like a GameStop employee go tell somebody that PS4 was backwards compatible, right?
Yeah.
Like, and you just
For
sit there and
$15.
you look- yeah, you just look at them and you're like, backwards. What the hell are you talking about? You know what I mean? It's like they'll do anything. And here's the thing: somebody pointed this out yesterday because of that Game Informer opinion piece about like I said, it's called Xbox One digital game errors are unacceptable, right? So imagine Game Informer, whose parent company is GameStop, saying that digital game errors are unacceptable, right? Especially after Microsoft just announced Xbox Game Pass, which is digital games that really could take a chunk out of GameStop's profits. In fact, their stock dropped. significantly when
I saw you
Microsoft-
and Red Dragon reported that it dropped like 9% or some shit.
Yeah,
That makes
it
sense
was-
because they don't want you to buy digital at all, and
Yeah,
and
no, they don't.
they're going to
They're-
try
They're
some
They're
kind of fear
fear
at-
mongering. They're fear
Yeah,
mongering.
don't buy digital. You won't be able
Yeah.
to play your games, even though I'm not telling you that I'm game sharing, and that's actually why I can't play it.
And so,
Yeah.
if you ever walk into a GameStop, have you ever corrected, like, overheard a conversation between an employee and a
I
customer?
always know more than the stupid idiot.
Dude,
working
if
behind
you,
the counter.
I corrected one guy one time. It was like when the PS4 first came out. I forgot why I went into GameStop, and I corrected him on something, and he looked at me, and he really wanted to say something, but he couldn't because he's working, and I don't know what happened, but it was hilarious. I'm like, yeah, I got you.
Yeah, that's what happens at every single
Yep.
GameStop, right? Like the some of the stuff that I've had recently was before. This is months before. This is like over a year ago, or about a year ago actually. Before PlayStation 4 had access to the external drives, they're like, yeah, you can just slap an external drive on your PlayStation 4.
God.
Somebody
Yeah.
right?
Roll out.
Sells them.
Oh yeah, I remember
Sells
that.
them an external drive. Sells them an external drive, and I'm just sitting there like
Oh,
laughing. I'm
no.
like, you realize that thing doesn't
Gotcha,
work on
bitch.
that.
I remember somebody selling a. I remember someone selling a Xbox One external hard drive to somebody and telling them that was the only drive they would ever need.
Oh,
It was
Yeah.
a 2 terabyte.
Yeah, it was a 2 terabyte. They're
Well,
like, you
for
can
most
install like
people, it
1,000
might be,
games on this, man. They're like, you'll never
Yeah,
use another
1,000 games.
drive.
That's what he said. 1,000 games. He goes, you could get 1,000 games on this, right? Like seriously, 1,000. That's what he
get
said.
1,000 2-megabyte games on there. No, I was like,
Yeah, like maybe indie games. I don't know, but damn, you're not getting no 1,000 regular games. Oh, Phil Spencer, by the way, is just like talking up a storm on Twitter tonight. Somebody asked him, "Would you like to see Call of Duty marketing return to Xbox?" And he goes, his response was actually pretty good. He says, "I
fuck Call of
appreciate."
Duty.
I know. He goes, "I appreciate partnering with third parties, but I've never understood why a gamer cares who has a marketing deal with a third party game." Like,
man, he's
Boom,
fucking
right?
savage, bro.
That's his way
Yeah,
of
that
saying,
is-
no, we're not partnered with them this year.
yeah, honestly, listen, man, Phil can tear up people, new assholes on Twitter, man. I still remember the pain when he was like, "You canceled the pre-order." I was like, "What?" Yeah, no, but he's a fucking savage on there. But yeah, he's right. I mean, a lot of people.
savage on there, Tim, even from Aruba.
Yeah, like Tim, like here's the thing, right? When GKB and She-Wolf were like, "Hey, we can't make it tonight," I asked him, and he goes, "Bro, I'm in Aruba." I was like, "Fuck." Well, my bad. You know what I mean? But yeah, I seen him tweeting on Twitter. So I'm like, he must be back from vacation by now, right? But nope, he's still out there fucking.
He's arguing with
drinking
some crack baby on Twitter.
yeah, that's what he did. Like, and you wonder why that dude's got the most fucking.
Well,
he's
because
got
some
like
idiot commented. He tweeted at me about Horizon Zero Dawn and Mass Effect or something shit, and then Tim, I think he retweeted some shit. I don't know. It stemmed from all that, I think. But yeah, Tim, he's on vacation, but he's still doing work. That's for sure.
You know what's funny is that dude, like, he doesn't even have a YouTube, and he's got like fucking like 11,000 followers on Twitter and shit. Like he goes back and forth with these people, right? Like he has no chill with these people. He goes back and forth. He argues with them. And the funny thing is like he's cool with these people. You know what I mean? Like even though he'll get lumped in with bad old toxic crap gamer, but he's like real. You know, he's cool with Phil and those guys, which is cool. Like Rand, you're cool with Ibarra and those guys. You know what I mean? Like. I think that's pretty cool. Like the fact that they reach out and talk to you guys is awesome. But if you do talk to them, tell them quit being so damn quiet. People want some damn hype. Like
I'm sure that's part of the plan.
I think
You know,
they're
like-
just. I think that they're really keeping
it's
their
coming.
cards close to their chest. I mean, and that's
Well-
where it kind of goes back to what you're saying, all these negative articles, because they fucking know the shitstorm is coming their fucking way. I mean, what?
Look, from fucking May till December, man, it's going to be the Xbox show. I guarantee you. It's
Fuck
just
yeah.
going to be a boom.
Well, Rand, like again, like you were a little bit late to the party, but what I was talking about earlier is Microsoft has done a lot to kind of bridge the gap and kind of be nice and stuff like that, right? Like they're talking up the Switch, Horizon Zero, they're being nice to people. I totally get that, right? But then as soon as something bad goes wrong a little bit, like Xbox Live having issues or like the digital game thing, there's like 10 hate articles about it. You know what I mean? Like, and then there's even more. Like the Xbox One is struggling because video game exclusives still matter. Like that's another one that cropped up today. It's like
I guess
in the
it
middle.
didn't matter fucking during the 5-month.
I
drive
think
period.
somebody like Aaron should say, all right, we've had one issue in the last year. maybe maybe even longer, right? I mean, he should say something like that, and that would suppress a lot of these stupid idiots, man.
Yeah, like I don't understand. Like they just kind of sit back and take a lot of it. I'm not a real big fan of it, but why are these articles cropping up about these exclusives? There was another one that I saw, and it was the same type of thing where it was Gaming Bold or something, and it was like it starts listing off all these games. It's like Xbox has a problem.
What was
and it
that
starts
article you were talking about? Is that the one from Gaming Bolt? I didn't get to see it. The one about
this one is. Well, The Verge is the one that came out with this, struggling because video games exclusive still matters. But there was another one from Gaming Bolt that basically was what you're talking about, where it was like, that it started naming off all these exclusives, right? It was like Zelda on the Switch, so it only named one Switch game, and it's like, but then you have Yakuza 0, Nier, this game, that game. I'm like, well, so basically one mainstream game in Horizon Zero Dawn and one in Zelda, and we had Halo Wars 2. They make it out to seem so one-sided.
And a bunch of Japanese shit, man.
Yeah, and they totally forget that Microsoft in the last 6 months has released 5 games, which was ReCore, Forza Horizon 3, Gears 4, Dead Rising 4, and Halo Wars 2. So that's pretty good lineup in my opinion. Else. Yeah, and then if you look at Sony and Nintendo at that time, Nintendo released Star Fox Zero, which got panned and flopped, and Nintendo and Sony released The Last Guardian, which flopped. So where were these articles at that particular time? And a lot of people will say there's no bias, there's no agenda, there's no this, no that, when clearly these articles didn't exist. And in fact, a previous year, like 2 years ago, an article popped up that said Sony has no exclusive left for this year, and that's genius.
Listen, when what's his name? When Andrew House said this year, what was it, last year, it's going to be sparse, and not one fucking media even touched on that. I mean, they brought it up. Remember, he was like, yeah, it's going to be a little sparse this year. It was okay. Yeah.
It's going to be
the major fucking hypocrisy, and I know we already know because it's already happened. Listen, it's all been about power the past 3-4 fucking years. When that Scorpio comes out and it does what it says it's doing, trust me, it will not be about power any fucking more. They're not going to care that it does.
It's already gone that way, man. Look at the
right, exactly. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
And of course,
it was confirmed. That argument was gone.
And of course, Sony's got all these games. Of course, Sony's got all these games coming out in fucking February, March, like January, because they wouldn't dare release half of those titles during the prime time season of the year because those fucking games, well, they wouldn't stand a chance. You wouldn't release Nier Automata and fucking what's the other crap that they brought out?
Gravity Rush 2, Nier Automata.
Wait, didn't Gravity Rush 2? Didn't they have an article somewhere? Gravity Rush 2 like fucking flopped.
It completely flopped. Like most of those games
wanted it supposedly.
I think Neo sold Neo sold 1 million.
With 60 million consoles, and it's only because the reviews are really good on that game.
But in retrospect to like the other games that they released, anyways, like
I tell you one
thing. Horizon Zero Dawn is the only really truly AAA big title that was kind of on the market for a while. But even that game, where would that game end up if they brought that out in November, like smack dab in the middle of Call of Duty and Battlefield season? That game would have took a big hit. Like, it's better for them to release it now because it's getting all the press, right? It's getting all the play time. So they're smart. They left the top heavy for this part of the year, but you wait. Now come summer, they'll have shit, and they probably have shit leading up to Christmas again.
Well, I was saying for that,
we're in December, man. I mean, it ain't been that long. Shit.
I was thinking for that Christmas. And I have a PS4 as well, and this would be a game I would buy. And I know this might lead up to one of your next topics, Crap. If they do release God of War in the fall time, man, that is a game.
Yeah, and you know what I've heard, and maybe Rand has heard too. I've heard that some things internally is like that's what's supposed to launch against Scorpio. Like Sony might be trying to launch.
To me, I look at God of War as like a Halo and a Gears. There's just
you know what? I buy PlayStations for God of War, Uncharted. Like that's why I buy them, right? But look, here's the thing too. There was also they trademarked something called Sleepwalker, right? They're saying that they're saying that could possibly be Bloodborne 2 because I reported that on earlier, right? Like people think this is going to be a surprise when they announce Bloodborne 2 or whatever the hell it's going to be, and it's going to come out this year. From Software has very secretly or not so secretly, but under the radar, gotten away with releasing a game every single year. You know what I mean? Like a Souls type game, and people aren't even, they don't talk about it.
Yeah, I mean,
nobody's shit about it.
Yeah, the thing is with those like Bloodborne games and stuff. I mean, you got to expect those to come out as to have a sequel. It was a fairly big game.
Well, here's the thing: they went from what, Dark Souls 2 to Dark Souls 3 to the re-releases or whatever, and then Bloodborne, and then Dark Souls 3, or however the hell that worked, because I don't really care about this game. Yeah, but something along those. I'm just a hillbilly. I don't know nothing about no Bloodborne,
roll out.
Dark Souls, roll out, Autobots, roll out. I can already see the memes.
My Camaro broke down.
Don't do it, Microsoft, please. No Xbox Prime.
They'll have that ludicrous song, roll out.
Oh my God! Don't do it. That would be so bad. Unless it's gonna have Optimus Prime's voice on there. You know what I mean? And that would be way better than Cortana. In my opinion. Yeah, transform.
Eject. Charging control.
Come on, damn it! It should be the Xbox coming in. We're gonna get out there and kick everybody's ass.
Well, what if they tied it into the new Transformers movie? And it's Xbox Prime. Like they could totally do that.
Xbox and Transformers.
I remember that. I totally
turned into a little fucking
it was a 360.
Crap, speaking of movie tie-ins, I hear there might be the Fast and the Furious 2 coming to Xbox One soon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like I had heard the DLC pack for Forza Horizon 3, the April one, is not coming out at its normal time. There's a new barn find that unlocks the weekend the movie comes out, and people are there's like talk saying that when you unlock that barn find, it actually unlocks the Fast and the Furious 2 for play or whatever, like a new game. Like,
are they gonna do like what they did before?
I would assume so. It'll be like one of those like cross promotional games where you can.
That would be fucking awesome. That was like the easiest 1,000 gamer score. Actually, I got 2,000. I played that shit on 360 and Xbox.
I hope this is the last fucking Fast and the Furious movie ever.
I didn't watch the last one because Paul Walker was dead, and I was like, I don't know, like.
No, they CGI'd his face onto his brother. So
I know that, but it's like I always felt like it would be weird or something.
Just
I don't know.
roll out.
Just a shout out to movies and advertising. Nice play by Microsoft to get Xbox One ads on the boards for the movie Goon 2.
Or they could just fucking spend money and make commercials the old-fashioned way. That'd be pretty cool.
Oh, I mean that's thinking outside the box, dealer. I like that thought.
I do it occasionally.
I definitely do. Oh, here we go. An interesting trend manifests when you consider this year thus far. However, if you look at the buzz and chatter around these games and systems, you find that discourse is dominated entirely by PlayStation and Nintendo. It makes sense. PlayStation 4 has been on fire this year, and so far has received
3 months
and so far.
Jesus.
Hold on. So far has received such titles as Tales of Berseria, Kingdom Hearts 2.H Remake, Yakuza 0, Nihon, Nier Automata, Horizon Zero Dawn. 6 amazing games in almost as many weeks. Nintendo, on the other hand, launched a brand new console very successfully, and it launched with what might be the greatest game ever made, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Hold on. Hold your laughter. PlayStation has dominated conversation due to the sheer pace and quantity of great release exclusives to it. Nintendo has managed to do so simply because of how staggeringly great this one game has turned out to be. Amazing, guys! Microsoft is totally dropping the ball.
Who wrote this? Who wrote this?
This is a Gaming Bolt article.
Find out the motherfucker's name.
Sorry. Let me just clarify one thing before you move along. The only PlayStation that's been on fire in the last year is the PlayStation 4 Pro.
There we go.
Who wrote that? He goes, find this motherfucker's name.
Fans of Japanese games in the media now. I was like, what the fuck happened?
Oh, if you look in the comments of every article, everybody's a fucking Japanese fan of games.
They got like just anime titties as a picture.
It's like all of a sudden, it's like everyone is like liking Japanese games. I mean,
yeah, because you can't get it somewhere else. That's the only reason these games are getting the attention they're getting.
What about this Persona? Is this after 2 years?
Nobody gave a shit about Persona before until it was exclusive to PS4.
Look, and here's the thing, right? Like Persona is coming out on the PlayStation 3. I can't stress that enough. It's coming out on the PlayStation 3.
Yeah, but I mean, Persona is huge in Japan or over there. I mean, it's one of the biggest games there is.
Let's
You
move over there.
disgrace me.
Let's move over there so I give a shit about it, I guess.
Hey, somebody sent me this. Maybe this is something that like they just sent it on Twitter. His name's Chris Suda. Supposedly, this is Sony's E3 schedule. Take this with a grain of salt. Everybody, this could be just complete bullshit. But here's what this thing lists. All right, as being on their stage: Death Stranding. Live gameplay story trailer, 7 to 10 minutes. Project Oscar, which is the Sucker Punch Productions new IP, which they did those infamous games. Then God of War, Days Gone, Dreams VR, which is Meteor Molecule. Apparently the delay was for VR. Uncharted Lost Legacy. Then Destiny 2, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, Crash Team Racing and Extreme, Call of Duty Chemical Warfare, Kingdom Hearts. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it says. Kingdom Hearts 3, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, Chapter 1, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Assassin's Creed Empire, Spider-Man, Resistance 4, Fall of Chimera, Gran Turismo
Resistance?
Yeah. Right. Gran Turismo Sport, Bloodborne 2, Red Dead Redemption 2. That sounds like a wet dream for a Sony fan.
How many games were in that one? How many games?
1, 2,
Like 75.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Not enough time to do
20 fucking games in an hour. How many games did they show last year's E3?
I have no idea, but this thing even has the minutes down.
Yeah, there's no way
It's
they
like-
have that. I mean, there's no way they have that locked down yet. Like the minutes and all that shit. No way.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds fake as shit. I just thought somebody sent it to me, so I figured.
Well, I mean, you can make some. Destiny 2 will definitely be there. Red Dead Redemption 2 will definitely be there because they're marketing deals.
And of course, that'll win them the conference.
They already won.
Death Stranding, Kojima will be there. You know this.
Yeah.
It's like,
What about Shenmue 3? Like, what shouldn't they have Shenmue?
They're always
to
asking.
show off?
Shenmue 3.
The
Shenmue
motherfuckers did pay for
Shenmue
it.
3. Yeah, like we haven't seen anything. Yeah, but we haven't seen any. Listen, I have a PS4 as well. I'll probably get that, but we haven't seen anything. Like people's money, like we put money into this thing, and it's been years, and we haven't seen shit about it.
Does it say who's making
Shenmue's
Resistance 4?
everywhere I go. It doesn't. It just says Resistance 4.
I mean, it can't
Fall
be
of
because
Chimera.
Insomniac did it, so that means Insomniac's work unless it's a different company. That'd
Not
be-
necessarily. Sony owns the Resistance IP. They could put somebody else on it, but
Not only that, Insomniac, they can work. They have multiple teams. I mean, they could easily work on multiple
And
games.
most likely
but-
half of this shit.
Well, I was thinking,
So
I'd
in
say
some crazy
Spider-Man.
world, if all this shit was real, half of this would be CG trailers. The game's not even hardly production.
Well, listen, like that's a good point because some of these do say trailer. It says Bloodborne 2 trailer, Resistance 4 trailer, Gran Turismo Sport trailer, and then it lists like live gameplay and shit. But the thing is that some of this stuff we already saw. Like, would people be okay with seeing like Days Gone again? They did fucking a huge two gameplay demos of that last year. Because remember,
Let's do another one.
yeah, they were trying to fill in that time because Xbox had come out with Scorpio and like shat all over. They gave them a big old Cleveland steamer, and so Sony's like, "What do we do? What do we do?"
I thought the rumor was that the Red Dead Redemption was gonna show, but they didn't want to because of the shooting
Because
in
of
Orlando.
that was a rumor too. But then Rockstar denied
Yeah,
that.
they're like, no.
Yeah, they were like, but I mean, I'm sure that they would deny that anyway. But if they do get Red Dead Redemption, Rockstar doesn't do E3 usually. So, I mean, if they can get somebody to show off that, I think that'd be huge for them. But at the same time, a lot of this stuff, to be honest with you, is just you could guess that anyway. You know, they're going to have the Call of Duty. They're going to have the Final Fantasy. Battlefront 2, I've heard that Microsoft might be involved in that.
I can tell you one thing. You can
possible.
bet every one of those games will be for PS4 Pro, since Scorpio, etc. Every game they show will be for, or whatever gameplay will be PS4 Pro. Not that it matters. but-
It'll look the same as PS4, just 1800p.
Yeah,
yeah.
18.
Well,
Well, that's
they'll say PS4 Pro for King Capture.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what they say in Horizon Zero Dawn. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, like, just going forward, I think that's what you'll see. But a lot of these games are going to come out around the same times if they do. And I don't really see Sony getting the marketing for all of these things because supposedly that new Assassin's Creed is going to come out at the end of October.
Mhm.
And, you know, which I'm excited about because I like that. Like, I know for a fact Microsoft's got the Splinter Cell marketing rights. Like that's making a comeback.
Well, I know for a fact the game is coming. I don't know who has the marketing deal for it.
I can almost guarantee you that it's a marketing deal with Microsoft, and Scorpio is going to, do this whole big thing on it or whatever. Phil Spencer took to Twitter today as well, and he also said something that was pretty interesting, which is cool that we can kind of do this live, which was he said that he wanted to do the best job possible, and that that feedback is part of the job, because somebody asked why they take so much shit from like the media and stuff. And then he went on to say that that he was very okay. This is what he said. He says, "I want to do the best job." Blah blah blah. Oh, he says, "Thanks. It's a journey. We started with focus on hardware, longest timelines. We've rebuilt Xbox Live and the OS, and they're bringing that same dedication and focus to the first-party games." So, if you look at what they're saying, like, man, they really inherited a shit show. I mean, I know that we all enjoyed, and like 360 was really good and all that stuff, but if you think about where the Xbox One started, and I've heard that they weren't really fans of how that OS was and stuff like that. So
I heard Microsoft is 100%, 150% committed to gaming. Like in something recently, I heard like ain't going away anytime soon. Hate to tell the Sony fans that.
Yeah, Phil's already said there's gonna be another.
I mean, this isn't Phil saying it, but yeah.
I'm just saying on Twitter, he's like, yeah, there will be another console.
Well, of course, they're already thinking about the other consoles. But like, Crap's right. Think about what transpired back in. I know people hate talking about what happened back in 2013, but Phil inherited a fucking sinking ship.
Yeah,
essentially. Like a sinking ship, they had to bail it all out. Now we got it, all situated right. We finally got the right Xbox out, the Xbox One S, which is a great machine.
It is.
Right. And the only thing that is missing right now, currently, is just some really kick-ass, fucking amazing exclusives that people will be like, I want that. But Phil took over 3 years ago, right? Games take 2 to 3 to 4 years to materialize and finalize. This year should be Phil's entire vision of what he thinks of Xbox going forward. So hopefully that comes true, because the deals he signed for long-term games, for big games. Because I had heard Recore was a game that was made in 18 months. I want to see what a game he signed that was basically 3 years to make and stuff like that. So
yeah, Recore does play. Like, I like the game, but it is very quick production time. It felt.
That's why it was a $40 game. And here's the thing: it was listed that Recore Definitive Edition is going to come out. I assume that would be with the DLC and the.
I mean, I didn't
even be like I don't know if that'd be like Xbox Scorpio enhanced then as well. Like,
that game's UWP. It's going to be 4K 60. Yeah, that game's like 100%. I've heard they demoed, like it's running 4K 60. UWP. Anything that's in the Windows 10 store that's 4K is going to be 4K on Scorpio and use those assets.
Pretty much everything on the Windows 10 store is in 4K.
Yeah, that's exactly why it's there. And here's the thing: everybody wants to jump on Microsoft and think that they're leaving or that they're doing. Phil Spencer, I say, cut the guy some slack. I know a lot of people think we don't get along or he hates me. I don't think that's the case. We've talked quite a few times. I think that he's doing a really good job. I think that people are don't understand what's happening. Like, they're quiet right now because they're confident. And I don't think people realize that. People start to panic because Zelda came out and because Horizon Zero Dawn came out. And so people started freaking out. Like, I've seen, and it happens like every year. And I'm like, whoa, calm down, guys.
I agree. I think a lot of people are just they're I think now Sony's game, as we can see the last 2 years, I think now they're going to start scheduling their game releases in the beginning of the year because of what they see can happen. And you're right. I mean, I think we're in this generation, I call them new age gamers, not you guys or anyone in the conflict, but I call them new age gamers where they're just not happy with fucking anything. I'm seeing shit on Twitter. It's like, yeah, it might not have been your game, but we did get a game last month, Halo Wars 2. 2 months before that,
Nino Cooney and all this dog shit's not my game either, right? So it don't matter then.
Exactly, but I mean, it's like they're making it sound like Microsoft doesn't do anything. Every fucking month we get a new update. Our console gets updated with new, that's what I'm just saying. They are not happy with fucking anything.
Well, most of the hate comes from people, first of all, that only have one console. Like that, like from the fans' perspective, they have one. They're narrow-sided. They probably never had an Xbox or haven't had one in a long time. So a lot of people are still bringing that 2013 hate along for the ride for whatever fucking reason. And like Rand is right. I mean, it takes a couple of years to adhere your sort of your terminology, your way of thinking, which is what Phil's doing. And it's like winning the World Series, man. It's hot news for the first week, and after that, it's not news anymore. And I think we're starting to see now, after last year's leaks really sort of took the wind out of the sails in a sense, because a lot of it was leaked beforehand. And I think Microsoft's just, like I said, they're keeping the info tight to the chest because they want this show to be big for everybody, and like not fucking the week beforehand everybody know, I know what's coming, I know what's in that system, I know what the name's going to be. Like then it's just boring. You know what I mean?
And like crap you said, like everyone's freaking out because Zelda's out, Horizon Zero Dawn here. Everyone's like, oh, no games.
Yeah.
And this happened last year, didn't it? And
it happens. Yeah, it happens every year. Like, like Uncharted came out and people flipped out. But I was like, to be honest with you, I had more fun with Quantum Break than Uncharted. So, like I thought Microsoft did a good job, and the narrative changed, right? Like checkerboarding is the greatest fucking thing now, right? Last year, what a difference a year makes. Fucking Quantum Break was checkerboarded and got shit on. It's not 1080p. It's 720. Look, that's how fast the narrative fucking changes. And you know what happened? This is what happened. Quantum Break does the checkerboard, and when you checkerboard and you move around in the fucking game, it gets blurry. Yeah. Right? That's what happens in Horizon Zero Dawn. The fucking checkerboard. Look, I took some fantastic still shots of Quantum Break, but the bottom line is the film grain shit was stupid, and when you move around, it got blurry. That's the same shit that happens on Sony's games. With
I don't know if it's because people were riding my sack on Beastfire because I said, checkerboard is blurry on fucking Horizon Forgettable Dawn. And what I was obviously referring to a previous episode where I was saying it's blurry in motion. And I don't know, because it's a fact that it does produce artifacts when you move around. When you're sitting still, it looks kind of like 4K. When you're moving around, you see the artifacts. That's the one drawback. And that's been proven by Digital Foundry, right? So I don't know if the artifacts by themselves are causing that, but what it looks like is the developers are trying to hide the artifacts behind a ridiculously intense amount of motion blur, which is a setting they've put on their game, is what it looks like. I don't know if it's them or the checkerboarding method, but either way, when it's in checkerboard mode, it's much more blurry than the performance mode when you're moving the camera around. Try it yourself. That's the best way to look at it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is dealer, like people like flip out whenever you say something, you know what I mean? It's like, or they don't believe you, or it's like, even if you fucking post links, because you do that too, and I do that shit too, where we'll post it and it says source, right? Mm-hmm. Or like otherwise it's opinion, right? Like you can't have a fucking opinion on something, but that's the truth. Go back and play Quantum Break. When you move around, it gets blurry.
It does.
Right? When you play but when you stand still, it fucking looks fantastic. When you play Horizon Zero Dawn and move around, it looks blurry. But when you stand still, it looks fucking great. I mean, that's just how it is. Like it's not like some bullshit thing or damage control or anything like that, because I'm saying it was a problem on Xbox and it's a problem on PlayStation. People just want to flip out because every time you say something that they perceive as negative on PlayStation, and it's just not the way.
See, this is the thing with in general. Like, yeah, we all have. Most of them sure have both PS4 and Xbox One. Like we prefer Xbox, but we criticize the company at the things they do. Like a lot of the Sony camp, they like literally they can't even give their own criticism.
They will damage control their fucking pants off.
I mean, if Microsoft, like we said, they fucked up. They were dumb and explaining things in 2013. They've done things that were dumb, and we spoke up. But I mean, like it's like that camp can't do no wrong. Trust me. If I just had a PlayStation and they were doing dumb things, I of course would be complaining as well. But I think
this is how delusional these guys. Dude, there are people out there on that side that think PSN is a better service than Xbox Live.
Yeah,
seriously. And you could link them the facts, the third-party surveys, the actual tests from third-party website. It doesn't matter.
Yep, they won't listen.
They're so fucking delusional, and they damage control everything. And they'll say this is a damage control podcast, but if any moron listens to this podcast, tell me one thing that we're damage controlling, right? You can't, as usual. You make a claim and you can't back it up. And then, you know, people in my comments, they get the shit smacked out of them by my awesome subscribers. They lock that shit down. So I don't get much of that dog shit in there, but it is what it is.
That's like somebody coming to my house and telling me that the headless horseman gives the best head in the town. Come on, Jesus.
Hold on. There. Well, you know what? Like, here's the thing. You know, has anybody ever noticed Dealer sounds a little bit like Nicolas Cage? I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
I think it's
so funny.
Too much pine solo today.
It's funny how you said Nicolas Cage because I'm watching fucking Con Air right now, and that's like one of the coolest fucking movies ever.
Oh yeah, like no, he sounds a little bit like that's one of the coolest fucking movies.
Roll out.
Roll out.
Roll out.
Hey, if that is the name, Phil Spencer doesn't have a hair on his ass if he doesn't say "roll out" when he fucking introduces it. Like
That is the name. Whoever named that.
Roll out.
We're introducing the new Xbox. Roll out.
And to let you guys know, we are rolling this out. on
Roll
August 22nd.
out.
I'm telling you, I would fucking pay big money to see fucking Phil and them unveil the Scorpio, a crap load of games, and then he actually does a fucking mic drop. That would be priceless.
oh my
It's
god,
not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen, but that would be epic.
You remember when
That
Jack
would be
Trenton
amazing.
fucking did that mic drop during that whole?
He didn't know what a mic drop was.
I know, he was like,
You could tell
it
just
just slipped
that
out of
dropped the
fucking-
mic, and he was just like,
Keely was like, just drop it, and Jack's like, fuck it. He just threw it
See,
off the building.
Phil's not that type of guy, though. You know, like
Yeah,
Phil's
you're
not.
right.
That's
And I know who
is
not
Mikey
in his
Barra.
nature.
You're right, and I said that last week.
Mike's got a little
on
fight in him.
podcast
Yep.
with Crap and those guys. How I know how they've been tweeting some stuff. It's a different Xbox team now. I mean, in the beginning, there he said I'm in it to win it. But literally, the past couple of years, it's changed. It's a different outlook.
Oh no,
It's
he's still in it to win it. Trust me. It's just that he's not going to demean the competition and to get
that's
to
what
be
I mean.
number
Yeah.
one. That's just
That's
not
what I
what
mean.
he'll do.
Oh, yeah.
Fight
Yeah,
as
they're
well.
still in to win it. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, he's not on there like just talking major shit or whatever. You know, I mean, he has. I think when the time calls for it.
Hey, you
So
know what?
he-
I'm like, they have more cred as just gamers, in my opinion. Like I heard Larry Herb talked up the fucking Switch nonstop on his podcast, which is great. But I mean, look, that's fine. I'm over that shit right there. I get it. They're actually Microsoft consumers. They consume Microsoft products. They do. A lot of people think Microsoft is setting their shit up to get out of gaming or whatever, but I, much like you, Rand, have heard that they're in it for the long run. You know what I mean? Like I've heard that. I've heard from multiple people that quote unquote they're about to change the industry at E3. You probably heard something like that too. I don't know.
Oh, you better elaborate on that shit, brother.
No, that's what I heard. I wasn't giving the information, right? This is what I heard. Like Rand probably knows this too. That right now, people at Microsoft are in severe lockdown mode. Like they aren't talking about shit. They're trying to prevent leaks. They're trying to, you know what I mean? It's like,
All right, Rand. I heard you and Jez's podcast today, so you better spill the beans right fucking now.
There are things that I have been told that I will literally repeat to nobody.
yeah. So exactly, like listen, and that happens too. Like I heard literally that they are about to change the industry or turn it upside down or something along those lines. And I was like, what do you mean? And that person was particularly like, I can't say.
You motherfuckers fighting me
You know what I
up.
mean?
God
It's one of
damn
those
it.
things.
Only March.
Just, you know, fuck it, ignore it, and what happens, you know.
Yeah, I mean that's how I
Remember,
would-
we also heard there was supposed to be an announcement bigger than backwards compatibility last year too. That shit didn't happen.
Hey, you're
that was
right.
kind of blown out of proportion, though. I think Major Nelson kind of misconstrued his words on that. But
You can't be mad at him. He's wearing
Hey,
them,
I mean,
purple
backwards-
suit jacket.
yeah, I mean, look, I think people get upset. Like people wanted Xbox to be run by gamers, and this is what happens. Everybody at Xbox from the head down, Phil is a gamer. So when they play the Switch, they're like they want to talk about it because they're gamers like everybody else.
Exactly.
I think that pisses some people off because they're like, well, talk about this Microsoft product, but it's just like, you know, like I'm
Man,
really enjoying.
And it
you know,
also it
Perfect.
averts eyes from Horizon Zero Dawn's recent release too. At the time, right? I mean, it could be.
I still think they're so confident in their product. Like you said, yeah, some people might not want them to be talking about the Switch, but they're confident in their product. They're confident with what they have to show. And it goes back to when Tim Cook told people when he, I think, revealed the iPhone 5 or 6 to not use Apple Maps, but use Nokia Maps, which Microsoft owned. But a lot of people are like, why would you promote that? It's because Apple already knows that people have confidence in their product. I'm sure Phil already has they do have confidence in, like you guys are saying, they're keeping their news close. They know what's going to happen. Even Crap, you're saying they're going to turn that. Man, you got me hyped as fuck, bro.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard, right?
Oh, you got to be fucking delusional to think that they're going to show up E3 and they basically got nothing. Like, come on. I mean,
there's a reason why they moved their E3 to Sunday for a reason, and it wasn't just to like get more than like 6 hours up on the competition. They've got shit lined up. They got some major things lined up.
Bethesda's lineup coming up right after theirs, most likely.
Okay, I was going to ask. That's after theirs, right? Bethesda's is.
Yeah. Yep. Well, and one of the reasons I thought for getting ahead of Bethesda is Bethesda could be showing off something on Scorpio, and maybe Microsoft wants that shown off beforehand. You know what I mean? Like, remember when Watch Dogs was shown off at the Ubisoft conference before, like the Xbox and or PS4 were even announced, right? And they were showing off that really good footage or whatever. It's like people knew that it's next gen consoles.
Except for it was actually a PC not invented for 3 more years that was.
Yeah, exactly. It was it all turned out to be bullshit anyway. But
and the graphics didn't come even there were clear to that even on the PC.
Hey guys, we got to delay it 3 months just to polish it. Fucking comes out completely downgraded.
Yeah, well, it had to run on last gen hardware too, which that kind of took a toll. To its credit, they actually the graphics and stuff on Watch Dogs 2 look really good, and I thought they did it like. To me, Watch Dogs 2 was amazing.
On the PC version for Watch Dogs, didn't some data miners find out like the original assets were still in the codec?
Well, it was like the original lighting and weather system, I think, were locked off. I think there were a few effects that were locked off, but they did make performance highly kind of unstable.
Yeah. So I mean, like that's something going forward. Like I know that they've got a lot of big things coming. People that are kind of dying out on the hype or whatever, or just think that they're being quiet because they're whatever. Like I've heard people say that they're about to leave the industry. That's why they're quiet. You hear all kinds of bullshit.
Obviously they're leaving the industry. They just came out with the Xbox One S and announced the Scorpio, and then also announced that their most successful generation ever at this point in the life cycle. I mean, obviously all the signs are.
I think that's more because they're actually making money this time around.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I said. Like this time, numbers don't mean a fucking just the general numbers we get. Only Microsoft knows internally what they're making. And they're making much fucking money, man.
They made no money with the original Xbox. I mean, I was even told like they basically you could staple $100 bill on the Xbox because that's how much money they were losing per Xbox. So they made literally no money, but that was fine. That was in the business plan, right? The 360, don't forget, they took like $1 billion loss initially on the Red Ring of Death, and they had a lot of problems with that. So I think when Phil says this is their best gen, I literally think he's talking about their internal profits and whether they're red or black and stuff. They paid
out $1.5 billion for Red Ring, and they still made so much money off 360.
Not only that, but you know what always annoys me when people bring up Don Matrick. And this is an issue because I know people are going to be like, Crapgamer's throwing shade at next gen. It's not, because I always busted his balls about Don Matrick anyway. Donnie D. Yeah, but if you fucking look at what he did, like there was going to be a Halo MMO that looked pretty cool. I don't know if you guys saw that. And they invested $90 million in that, right? And then they canceled it because because Don Matrick wanted to do Connect because he saw the Wii was super successful. Like this was going to be their way to compete with World of Warcraft. They had sunk $90 million in this. Like, and it was crazy, man. It looked super good. It looked amazing. We could have had a Halo MMO, which I think would have been fucking awesome. You know what I mean? But instead we got Connect. Like, think about that. We got a lot of Connect stuff.
I mean, look, Don Matrick basically, he took that's basically where the company kind of took a turn off anyways, right? We had all that Connect stuff. The Connect was hyped up really big. Like, I think I even was hyped up for it before it came out.
I was. Fuck yeah, I was.
And then after it came out, I was like, I mean, like, it's not that great, It's like I don't even think I even bought one.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I did.
I did on that one.
I mean, look, and I was even against that when they released it with the Xbox One, and I was even vocal about that for everyone. I was like, it's stupid that they're forcing the Connect on you, right? Like, I think it's cool. I use it for basically to take screenshots and video clips, but that's about it.
Yeah,
otherwise I'd never use the damn thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same way too. But although they did get an update with this new update that includes like custom gamer picks and stuff like that, which I think it's like
I
about
fucking
damn
don't
time.
have mine
Dick
yet,
pics,
man.
baby.
I don't.
That's what I'm
Picks
saying,
coming to
Rand.
Xbox.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like, how can they allow custom gamer picks when, you know, like people are going to
Because
say
it's the same way.
shit.
It's the same way it was on the 360. Your friends will see your custom one, and everybody else will see your other one.
Oh,
Okay.
That means
Compare
I guess
yourself
that's
for the
everyone's going to be seeing my fucking Johnson on my friends list.
Same. My friends
fucking
will be able to see
dick
my
pics
soft
everywhere.
serve now, baby.
Yeah, like here you go. Like I'm sitting there, I'm sitting there like reading this because I'm reading the update, right? I'm like, okay, so like you're gonna be able to do this, this, and this, but they're like, this is gonna be in beta longer than the other stuff. And I'm like, they're probably gonna try to censor shit so they don't have like a bunch of fucking dicks and stuff showing on there, or whatever. You know what I mean?
I mean, look, we all know how fast Microsoft is to move on like people breaking the
Well, they did say
rules and that sort of thing.
that this was going to stay in the preview for
An
much
extended period of
longer.
time, yeah.
To make sure. So they're probably like, all right,
I'm not
who's going to
in the
today?
preview programs anymore. So
I'm
They're
not
like,
either.
all right, Johnson, your turn to go through the dick pics of the month.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, like these features sound good, but then when you just the preview program was a lot of problems. Like everybody's like, yeah, will you let me invite
Look,
you because it sounds so good, right? You get all these features and shit,
Oh,
but then when you're
dude.
in it and it
Fucking
fucks you
nothing
over,
works, dude.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is for my download speed, like that. I have a 600 down and 40 up. Whenever I'm downloading something, that fucker doesn't even go over 15 megs, man. I'm like, oh. But before I got into preview, I was able to get, I think around 200 or 300 meg download on the Xbox itself.
yeah,
But,
I mean, you're going to
guys-
be limited with your downstream just based off the hardware as well.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I mean, but
Yeah.
being able to get 200, but yeah, you guys, like Crap said, it's cool, but then you're like, you get all those fucking problems.
Yeah, like I've had a lot of issues with it. That's why I left the preview program. But I don't think that the custom gamer pick's gonna be that big of a deal, right? Like, I mean, custom pictures and stuff like that have been around on how many social media sites? Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, whatever.
I think
Yeah.
people just wanted more variety to choose from, whether it's even paying for them like you could on the 360, because there's not that many to choose from.
there's not.
Yeah.
Everybody's got the same fucking ones, and you know what I'm
Right?
happiest
I
about?
think people.
Go ahead.
What are you happy about, Crap? What are you
I'm
happy about?
that we're able to do custom ones for the fucking clubs, right? Like you only have a handful to pick for the clubs, and you're gonna be able to have your own background for that and shit. Right now, I got like 4,000 members in my club, and it looks generic as hell.
But let's ask this question, just the real question, right? Even after this releases to everyone, how many more people are you still gonna see running around this misfitted fucking 360?
I fucking hate the 360 ones. Like Jesus Christ.
God.
was the time.
Every time I get someone a friend, I'm like, dude, change your gamer picture, all
It's
right?
about
You're-
It's as annoying as an egg on Twitter, basically.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. It's frustrating as hell. It is extremely frustrating.
I don't know
but-
how you guys feel. I think they should get rid of the avatar thing. I just think at first everybody
No.
wanted it.
I hear
Oh.
avatars are coming back bigger and better than ever.
Really?
Oh,
you heard
yeah.
it here first from Rand.
yeah.
You better believe it, because his
yeah.
boy
Yeah.
is Daddy Ibarra.
No. Ybarra, no. Ybarra didn't tell me nothing.
I just
No,
every
I
time-
know
I just-
Ibarra
ever
doesn't,
since I
but
got
you
it-
do.
I think you guys better believe that Rare's got something planned for E3 too. Don't worry.
Oh, Sea of Thieves. is gonna be- Okay, question. Do you guys is Sea
But
of
I
Thieves
think they got
coming
something
out?
else in the works
Is
too.
that coming out in the spring, or is that going to be?
Hey,
a fall
aside
game?
from saying that I am in the Sea of Thieves alpha, I can't say shit.
Yeah, I
Like, you're
can't
not
say
allowed to
anything
say
either.
anything.
Okay, without Crap saying, do you guys think is Sea of Thieves going to come out in the fall time, or do you think it'll be a spring title?
I think it's a little too late for a spring title now. You figured they would announce that if it was coming out in spring. I still think maybe there's a possibility that it releases maybe in August or something. But the most likely scenario is that it's going to be a launch title for Scorpio in November, which is probably the bad decision because the game will get buried among all the other AAA games that come out at that time.
Hey, Rand, do you think that's a full price game, or do you think that's a free to play game?
Oh. No, I mean they already confirmed. Like Rare's already
Okay.
said, it's. They haven't given the price, but they definitely said it's
Yeah.
not free to play. But I think
Yeah,
it's
okay.
definitely going to be 60.
And it's going to have a shit ton of microtransactions.
It's
Probably.
funny. I get emails from the beta. I'm not even in the fucking beta. It's like, please take this survey. We need your help. I'm like, I didn't get no code.
You don't. Well, yeah, you don't
Yeah.
really get it. It's like you have to.
Well, the
they
alpha
do
to
it.
get invited or whatever. I never got it, but
Yeah,
they're
they-
sending me emails to answer their surveys. How the
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah,
got
yeah.
those up for the longest time before I got invited into it.
okay. Is it?
Hey,
can I ask you-
Is it fun though? Can you say that? Is it fun?
You're not. I don't know what you're allowed to
can't
say.
even say if it's fun.
I can't talk about.
Okay, are the colors beautiful?
You've seen it, right?
We can't say anything.
I mean,
Damn, NDA. Is there water in the game?
I mean, yeah, of course you've seen the screens in the video.
Okay,
but
You've seen
Oh,
the
there we go.
screenshots up there.
There goes Rand. He took the hit. We're good.
Yeah,
I got a
good
question
job.
for you guys. Like this kind of goes to the Shadow of War thing, but even before that, if we know Shadow of War is getting updated for Scorpio, right? 4K.
Yeah.
Are you gonna play it when it comes out? Or are you gonna wait to play it when it's on the Scorpio?
Waiting.
I am waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah. The reason why I'm waiting is because I've got all this other shit going on right now. I'll probably even wait to buy it because I've got so many other games to play through. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely gonna wait.
I know.
Hey, Rand,
if I buy it, man, before I'm ready to play it, I'll end up playing the fucking thing.
Yeah.
You know, like I ain't pre-ordering it.
Hey, Rand, let me ask you something, man. How about those Xbox controllers, man?
Man. Are you sure you want to ask me about this? Are you sure?
I was interested. Yeah, I was interested because this is the thing, right? I realize they're different facets, right? I realize they're different teams, right? But at the same time, every other day there is a new fucking controller, right? There is a new controller. Like, absolutely. They're like, good, get this one. And then we got this. And you can build your own fucking controller. And we've got this $150 Elite controller. And I think they're just...
I made the video, and I got a lot of hate for that video. And, like, I don't know, look, my videos are just my opinions on that stuff, right? Like, it was just something I saw. It was, I DM'd Tim. I'm like, Tim, another fucking controller? And he's like, make a video and bash him. Right?
In that exact voice.
I'm like, all right.
Make a video.
Look, the controller is amazing. Like, I like the design of the controller. I think it's fucking amazing, right? I don't like the idea that like everything they announce is basically controllers and all the exclusive. Like, we've had one exclusive game and 3 controllers. And what really pushed me over the edge was the fucking press release they put alongside it. The press release starts off by talking about Scorpio and 6 teraflops of gaming power and true 4K and all this nonsense. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, well, what does any of that got to do with the controller? Right? Like, why doesn't it start with, hey, we know you're enjoying Halo Wars 2 and Mass Effect Andromeda, and we know you're looking forward to Sea of Thieves and Crackdown 3, and you want to look good playing your games. Well, we got another controller for you. No, they want to talk about Scorpio. That
well,
really
damn near all their marketing's going to be on Scorpio until the fucking thing comes out.
It just really just pushed me over the edge, and I just had to make that video to like fucking get it off my chest.
Hey guys, I gotta tell you something right now. Microsoft has got more controllers than I have dildos in my house.
Getting nuked, man. No chills, nuke. Listen, like I feel the same way though, right? And look, that comes with the territory. You do anything bad, you say anything bad or like critical of Microsoft, and some of those people, like some will understand, and they're like, you know, that's true. You know, they do have a lot of controllers. You know what? I feel bad for Xbox Addict because that dude buys every controller, and I'm like, I think they're just making these things.
So you gotta take out a fucking loan. They just came out with a new set of controllers.
Like, bro, I need some help. I need some juice.
And it's not
crap. I know you've been doing your Sony thing here lately, right? Like, apparently, because the second to newest comment on my most recent video, I think it is someone says you should make a video about that PlayStation fanboy Crapgamer.
PlayStation fanboy.
Yeah, like
I got that in my comment too. Someone said, "Well, this guy clearly loves PlayStation," and the guy's like, he hasn't gotten a PlayStation since PS2."
Don't you love that? They don't.
And he's like, he's got a million
video.
gamer score on Xbox. He's like, well, clearly he loves Sony. I'm like, geez.
Wow, like I'm a PlayStation fan. Like maybe you didn't fucking see. Like, man, all you got to do is look at my feed, man. I'm not a PlayStation.
People
I
can't
have
be bothered.
Yeah, I have a PlayStation 4 for sure, but I'm not a fucking PlayStation fan or anything. You know what I mean? Like, I think that they're okay, but.
And it was just an opinion too. Like I was like, hey, I want to see them focus more on games because that is what I want from Xbox. I want to get games that I can't get on Sony or Nintendo. And then like as cool as controllers are, they've been way too much of the focus recently. And that was
I agree,
basically 100%. What I was talking about.
And I heard from a very good source that somebody who used to do a morning show with me feels exactly the same way. So yeah, like that is a bit of, and I realized that they're different. Again, they're different things or whatever, but
oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, just like when I did a video about about people not supporting Halo Wars 2 because Neo beat it or whatever. I get it. A lot of people probably bought it digital, and people get really defensive. You know what I mean? But I'm just like, it would have been nice to
60 million
see that.
consoles. It better fucking beat Halo Wars 2. Shit.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, like in the NPD though, they're only like probably 1.5 million ahead here.
I would
so,
still say RTSs are much more niche than Neo.
Oh, very.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not only that, but why would anybody buy that? Here's the thing, right? Like an RTS, probably a lot of people bought that digitally. I did.
I did.
I don't play on PC, but probably a lot would probably.
I figured to get a
Scorpio
Scorpio patch. Fuck it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it probably will. I'm glad that. You know, I love the fucking story on that.
Yep.
I thought it was fantastic. I think they
Some of the
introduced
best actually when it comes to
The
scenes.
ending fucking really leading shit up.
I said that story with Atriox as the enemy was better than the Halo 5 story. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
they did a
easy. Fucking Christ.
They did a fucking amazing job with that. I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. Damn, we've kept a fucking steady over 500. Hit that like button, guys, and holy shit, it's
People love
if you
this
think
Sony
if you think Crapgamer's a Sony fanboy, hit the like button.
yeah,
Three more likes.
Like,
500 viewers watch it jump up to like 800. Like, what the fuck?
change the title to PlayStation Nation.
PlayStation Nation. People know there's enough PlayStation people out
Nation
there.
with your host Crap Gamer, the biggest PlayStation fanboy on the internet and on YouTube.
You know, when people tell me, they're like, well, crap, if you're like, because I've been unhappy with some things that Microsoft has done. They're like, if you're so unhappy, why don't you just switch over to PlayStation? I'm like, it's not that easy. When I game on PlayStation, when I play on PlayStation, I can't wait to get off the PlayStation. You know what I mean? Like that is the thing. It's like I want to get away from that. Like it's a hassle. I'm constantly having to plug in the fucking controller. Like I'm constantly, if I'm not appearing offline, getting harassed by people. You know what I mean? It's like that is like the worst.
You want to check your fucking friends, you got to exit the game, or you bring up that little side tab, and that still shoots you into a different area. When you click on that, it's like.
No. Oh, you hardly ever get any harassment on PlayStation. What are you talking about?
Oh my gosh!
Right.
I get. That's why I'm on that now, because it's like it's just nothing but harassment and stuff.
That's why you should do what I do and just don't get on it.
Yeah, well, I don't very often. And luckily, it's only once a year because that's when they come out with the.
But you probably noticed if you got on. I ain't been on there in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, like not since I was like dealer Let me add him, and then I was cleaning up some trophies on there, and then it was like the guy with the bum leg. I ran into him on a side quest. He's like,
hey, my wheelchair broke. Can you go dismount and get my daughter?
I had to get his sword. He's like, I need the sword. The dinosaur ran off with it. I was like, holy shit, man. A dinosaur ran off with my sword.
Yeah, when that guy called my name sitting there in the bushes, like laying there, I was like, fucking Christ, this is going to be like every mission in this game, isn't it?
Every fucking mission, every side mission,
every side activity.
It's like, hey, something happened. Can you go get this? Sure. Fucking my spear got taken by a dinosaur, and then you bring it back. Hey, it got taken again.
Hey,
go get it.
I'm fucking hungry. Can you make me a fucking sandwich?
Yeah, sure.
It's like the most ridiculous shit ever, man. It's absolutely fucking insane.
Can you make me a sandwich?
It is. It's insane. But yeah, we've taken up fucking over 2 hours of your time. It fucking flew by.
We didn't get through any topics.
I know we didn't fucking get through anything, but it's cool because it flowed well, and we did get to talk about some cool stuff. So we'll go ahead and let everybody do some things. Dealer, what do you got going on, man? When's your next video? People want to know. Oh, somebody requested you do a video, Wii versus something or other.
So when I make it, I just call it Wii versus something.
Yeah, so Wii versus Scorpio.
Wii versus Scorpio.
Yeah,
right.
You know.
Yeah, and next time something fucking happens, that's probably when I just made a video about the big spring update, which is nice, right? I can finally put a picture of a bloody asshole as my gamer picture. I'm looking forward to all that. The huge update. That was my most recent video. Check me out there at Dealer Gaming, obviously on Twitter at Dealer_Gaming. And Crapgamer knows where my Xbox Live tag's at. Go ahead. I know you're gonna do it anyway.
It's Dealer
space Dealer space
space.
Yeah.
Yes, space.
So that's where you can find me. Thanks for joining.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks for joining. Hellhammer, what's up? You got nothing going on?
Yeah, not much. I'll be back on here next week. Hopefully have some more interesting news to go over. Otherwise, I can be found on Twitter at XXHellhammer or on Xbox Live, XX Space Hellhammer.
Hell yeah, XX Space Hellhammer. We've got Noof Nukem sitting in. What's up, bro? Thanks
Yo,
for sitting
first
in.
of all, sorry I was again late on the podcast, but it's always a pleasure to be here. Had a lot of fun, great topics as usual. You know where to find me, guys. Noof Nukem on Xbox Live, Noof_Nukem over on PlayStation Network, and I do have a channel. I don't make a lot of videos, but when I do, they're usually interesting or funny or something of that sort. So there you have it, man. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me once again. And Cletus says hopes everybody has a good night too.
Hell yeah. And Mason, thanks for joining us, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I'm glad I got to join in. It was nice talking with Dealer, Hellhammer, and Rand. Nice talking to you and Nukem. Had a great time. I don't have a YouTube channel. I'm not cool like you guys. But if you guys want to catch me on Twitter, it's Sinar, SINAR 212, and my gamer tag is the same thing. So with a space.
He'll be on BGST as well.
Oh yes, I'll be joining again. Thanks to Crab and everyone joining, send me an invite. But had a fun time. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
No problem. And Rand, what do you got going on, man? I know you probably got like lots of shit going on.
I mean, I do my videos at youtube.com/RandallThor19, but I was inspired by that morning show you did. So me and Jazz decided to do a 2-man podcast, which we do on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Trying to take up. I feel like a 2-man podcast is a little bit different dynamic than 5 people, and me and Jazz have
good chemistry.
We talk quite a bit, so it's interesting. So that's the newest thing I've started. So
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that you guys were having a good discussion on the dreaded controllers.
Those dreaded controller gates.
We're still waiting for Crap and Fox to make Mustard and Mayo podcast, right?
Well, I know. Like the thing is like I'm so busy with like a lot of the other content and stuff. It's like I do a lot of stuff.
Doing videos on like Hellhammer. It does.
Hey, my video is estimated at 2019. Thank you.
People think it's easy, man. Like even like getting the because my computer is a piece of shit, right? And usually when I talk, but like it's number one, finding the content to talk about and then actually talking about it for like 6 minutes or something. It'd be a little it's not as easy as people think.
Yeah. Imagine doing that 3 times a day.
Well, I'm not on that level yet, so
Well, no, like here's the thing, right? Like I was doing like the 1 a.m. stuff, just testing stuff out, and people really like just random Xbox news. So like, the littler stories that I wouldn't cover in like a topic on its own, and they just kind of go to it, and it's a little mid-tier thing, and so I found a little niche that I can do, and like a lot of cool people for the podcast and stuff, and I appreciate everybody stepping in and helping me out because GKB and She-Wolf couldn't make it tonight. They're a little bit burnt out on the stuff too, you know what I mean? Like, and I can understand that, especially going in.
I've been there.
Yeah, and especially going into
the real reason Crap is just She-Wolf knew I was going to be on the show tonight, and you know how much she just loves my jokes, right?
Hey, she absolutely loves your jokes, man.
Apparently, her eyes roll when I tell jokes like the ones in Mass Effect Andromeda.
Oh. Oh shit, man. Yeah. You know what the thing is you can see it now in Console Corner when you tell a joke and you can see the eye roll. Like there's the minute when the eyes roll. Oh, no chills. You know what I mean? Yeah, and then you guys got you also do TXR still, right?
Which was a 2-person show this week as well, because everybody just I don't know. It was just me and Maka this week on TXR, so normally Tim's there.
To the Boot Black Southbound, man. I haven't seen him on there.
I honestly couldn't tell you.
Oh, okay.
Don't know.
He's probably busy doing secret things. Who knows? But
he's on that green phone.
Yes, he is. He's on the green phone nonstop. Thank you guys for joining. We'll catch you guys next week. It's never goodbye. It's just till next time. Rack 'em up.